Stand corrected, my radio brethren. I am. Well, welcome. Hope everybody's doing well. Happy Wednesday. If I could make a recommendation, you know, we always talk about what's on the app and what we've done this week and everything. I hope if your listening habits don't have you listening in the third hour of the show, I would at some point, even if you have to wait till the weekend, whenever you can, get around to listening to Hot Dog's Demon Saga, because it went way deeper. So, like, literally, so yesterday Hot Dog comes in, and this whole segment is obviously available on the app, and we'll have a 20-minute version of it on the Not Sam YouTube page. I cut a video of it. And he comes in, and I saw him, because he had been in Greece for like 3 weeks or something like, I don't know, something stupid, with way too long, with way too many people. And I mean, honestly, I was just going to, I mean, it wasn't interesting to me. It was just, I mean, it felt like so indulgent. It was one of just the most indulgent, non-earned vacations I'd ever seen in my life. Non-earned. I can't stand a non-earned vacation. Seeing somebody like relax and take a load off when it's like, of what? Take a load off of what? What have you been carrying on your shoulders? What do you need a break from? I don't know how long it's been since I had a vacation. I can't imagine. You know, I think I went to Fire Island for 2 days last year. That was it. I think I took the kids to Disney World. At this point, it was like 2-3 years ago.
I think you only had one kid.
I had two, but the one was little. I got 3 now. But regardless.
It feels like Hot Dog is on a permanent vacation.
I mean, it really is.
I think you guys are just jealous of all those hotties.
Maybe that's what it was.
Hotties that nobody's doing anything with.
That's what he says.
Bring them to an NBA locker room, then we'll see.
That's what he says. So he comes in, and so I'm like, you know, whatever. But then he posts a thing that says he got visited by a sleep demon while he was in Greece. And I go, okay, I'm actually interested in that. So I had him come in and he talked to us about it yesterday, and it was so much worse. Like, I'm going to be 100% honest. I thought he was going to tell a tale of typical sleep paralysis, and we were just kind of gonna goof on him, be like, there's no demon. And it went so dark, so deep, like so fast. I was like, wait, what did you do? To the point where he's seeing a demon, the girl that's in the room with him is seeing the same demon, they're seeing a demon transfer from one eyeball to the next, there are pockets of time that can't be accounted for, they both have been through something, there's physical symptoms, now they're both paralyzed, and we find out at the end that he's made a deal with a demon and said, if you leave me alone, I'll give you somebody else.
But the demon took the offer of taking somebody else, but didn't leave him alone.
Well, that's my question, because I was editing the video last night, so I was kind of re-listening to some of your comments on it. And you said that yesterday, that you made a huge mistake, because now he's got both of you. But part of me was like, well, maybe that was the transfer. Do you think that
that's what I was thinking.
Right. But do you think the demon leaves something behind in Hot Dog?
How will we know?
I don't know. I mean, who knows? What a strange...
It's weird,
I feel like his eye going red was the demon leaving his body and transferring over to Annie.
That makes sense to me.
That's how I took it.
I took it too, but I don't know. How will we know?
Is it possible that they're both alcoholics with bad sleep habits?
I mean, it's possible, Mike, but that's a very logical, pragmatic way to... If we wanted to be as logical and pragmatic as possible... Yes, that is. I'm not going to. Can I sit there and say, no, that's not feasible? No, I can't tell you that. I can't tell you that. No. If you wanted to leave the spiritual realm and give a very physical world explanation for everything going on, yes, that would be one of the options.
Well, I'm a man of science.
No, I know you are. And yes, that would be possible, of course. But also, the other way is possible. I watched The Conjuring many times. And I know how these things work.
Trailer for the new one just came out.
The last one was terrible. What did they?
Okay.
I mean, why? What do you mean the new one?
There's another one.
I like the last.
And just because something was terrible doesn't mean the new one can't be good.
Well, it's like so. Here's
people are saying the new Final Destination is the best one ever.
There has not been one bad Final Destination movie.
Okay, but was like the third one
amazing?
Okay.
Amazing. That Final Destination is in that category of franchises that just like there's no stop.
All killer, no filler.
All killer, no filler. Same as Saw.
Okay.
I can't think of one bad Saw movie. I'm racking my brain here. There's 10 of them.
All right.
I can't think of one bad Saw movie. And Final Destination, yeah, no, they keep getting better and better. I can't wait for this new one. But the Conjuring movies, because like the problem is that they're based on the true story, and I'm still in. Trust me. There's a whole universe. I'm more into the Conjuring universe than I am into the MCU. I love the Conjuring universe.
Okay.
But they're based on the findings of Elizabeth. It wasn't Warnos. That's the
Warren.
Warnos is the serial killer.
Ed and Lorraine.
Ed and Lorraine Warren and their findings. And in the first movie, you're like, okay, yeah, like that probably is legit and that's super scary. And the further it goes, the more you're like, the true story on this was exposed as a hoax, like in the 1970s. Like nobody even believed this when it was happening. And you're like, what? And then in the last one, they're like walking through like tunnels under a house that literally lead to hell.
All right, does it say based on a true story?
Yes.
Okay, so it's just based on a true story. It's not a true story. Anytime I can get more Patrick Wilson.
Don't get me wrong.
Sign me up.
I love Patrick Wilson. I want Patrick Wilson in studio. We'll be bigging up Patrick Wilson. He represents New Jersey hard.
Yeah.
He loves New Jersey. I sat in front of him at Metallica
He's
at
a
the
cool
Apollo,
dude.
and we definitely dapped each other up.
Did you?
100%.
Hell yeah.
We're cool. It's been a while since I think I haven't seen him since the pandemic.
Yep.
So I'm glad he's still doing good.
Okay.
And yeah, no, I want to talk to him about it. I love the Conjuring universe. It's just like with these Warrens.
Just go for the ride.
I will go for the ride. And I'm also kind of bummed that like for a long time, Lorraine Warren was still alive. And like while these movies were out. And she lives like in Connecticut. And her house is full of all the trinkets that they found from the haunted possessions that they went to. So like the original actual Annabelle doll is there, like all the stuff that is shown in the movies. Now the actual Annabelle doll is not that creepy looking doll from the movies. It's actually like a Raggedy Ann doll.
But it's still pretty
It's amazing.
significant.
It's amazing. And it's in that case saying do not touch. It says it's possessed. And they used to, like her son-in-law help create these things where you could buy a ticket. And it was very limited because it was like literally 20 people. But you could pay, and on Halloween, they do it like twice a year. You could go to the house, and she and the son-in-law would kind of tell stories in the house, and then you could get a tour of the room and everything. And I really wanted to go.
From her, that's very cool.
I wanted to go and do that. And then, I don't know, after she passed, I think the son-in-law might have tried to keep it going for a little bit. And I was like, I don't know, without one of the Warrens there, the original Warrens, I don't know if I want to. And then I don't think they're doing it at all anymore. But I would love to see the room with all the haunted trinkets in there. Because while, yes, there is a big part of my brain that operates more like Mike Montone, going like, well, maybe if you just dealt with your stress and had better sleep patterns, drank a little less, you'd stop seeing demons. I also, there's this other little part of my brain that goes like, no, but there could be real demons.
I mean, their story was convincing.
Hot Dog and Annie's?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And the idea there, listen, I understand science and all this stuff.
I do understand that they were both probably still inebriated.
Hot Dog said he wasn't that drunk.
I mean, he's gonna lie too. He's not
Yeah.
gonna tell you the truth.
That's a good point. He's a liar. I forgot about that.
He gets so drunk he falls asleep. We saw the photo in Vegas. Come
No,
on.
you're right about that too. And he threw up all over his hotel.
Yeah.
In his mid-30s. But there is something very egotistical about thinking that we have it all, the universe all figured out.
Yeah.
We got it. We know it. Front to back, we're done. I mean, the idea that there couldn't possibly be anything beyond us as humans is a little center of the earth complex.
It is. I agree.
And
Right.
People believe that there's not a spiritual, like a lot of people believe there's not a spiritual realm.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That there's nothing. That it's literally like
What we see is this is it.
you're an organism. You die, the computer turns off. You're born, the computer turns on. That's it. Other than that, there's a series of coincidences and reactions to actions.
I think I believe that on a surface level, and then when I really start thinking about it, I'm like, this is all very weird if it's just
Right.
mechanical.
There's things in everybody's life. It's not just stories you read. There are 2 degrees. Things in your life that you go, yep, it's all mechanical, but there was this one time.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's got a, you know what? Even if it's just a matter of like karma, like just something that you go, that is too much of a coincidence to just be a coincidence. Even if it's just going like, this is probably a simulation. Whatever it is.
Well, now we're getting a little.
I mean, it probably is a simulation.
I don't think. You think it's like a Truman Show?
No.
Okay.
I think we're probably NPCs. But.
Is that why we're always bumping into each other?
Yeah, exactly. And just jibber jabbering at each other. But regardless of all that, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there opening weekend. Is opening weekend this weekend for the new Final Destination?
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Jermaine said it's great, so I'll be there for that.
Yeah.
How come nobody's at Sirius doing press for Final Destination
We tried.
6, 5, whatever it is? I don't
Final
know.
Destination Bloodlines.
I love the Bloodline.
No.
That's my 2 favorite things. Is it Samoan?
Yeah, it comes out this weekend.
And it's a bunch of Samoans.
I think it's more like the Sami Zayn side.
Honorary Oos.
Yeah.
Oh, that's still cool. I feel like I'm honorary Oos, so that's fine. I'm fine with that. And then when does so that's the new Final Destination. When does the new Conjuring movie come out?
I think that's a little later because they just released the first trailer.
That trailer just dropped?
Yeah. That's September.
Labor Day?
No, after Labor Day.
Oh.
The Conjuring Last Rites.
I was hoping I could go for my birthday party.
You having a birthday party?
I always go to the movies for my birthday party.
Good for you.
The guest list gets more and more limited every year. We're down to 1.
Oh.
Me.
Conjuring, or Final Destination is this weekend. Friendship is the weekend after that.
Oh, come on.
It's already out in New York.
I know, but New York City.
Yeah.
Not the best, Jessica.
No.
Although maybe it's playing at the Alamo.
No, it's not.
Damn.
I check every day.
Smart. Smart. So I'm going to get to see...
That's all I want to see.
I'm going to get to see a Final Destination movie this weekend. Next weekend, get to see Tim Robinson do his own movie with Paul Rudd. And then we're off to the races for the summer.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Do we have the trailer? I don't need to see... Well, no, I don't need to see the trailer for new Final Destination if it comes out this weekend. But do you have the trailer for new Conjuring? I want to see... And how many more stories are there for this Ed and Lorraine Warren?
There's just go for the ride.
All right. I'll do
It's
it.
a documentary.
It's a mockumentary.
Don't touch anything.
Oh, that's the room.
Everything you see in here is either haunted,
Oh, the nun.
They did a whole
been
movie
used in
about it.
some sort of ritualistic practice.
I love the nun.
Nothing's a toy.
Oh, Annabelle.
toys.
Right? They did a couple Annabelles. I love those movies too.
How many cases you guys had?
It's Ed and Lorraine.
Cases.
My name is Ed Warren, here with my wife Lorraine.
Maybe 1,000.
1,000. Based on the true case files of Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Every case
True.
is different.
True. Based on.
Every family's different.
Hell yeah. Oh, there's a hand on that lady's shoulder.
Once we start, there's no going back. Anything can happen.
That doll. Oh, fuck that. That doll just sat up. What the fuck? The doll's floating. Oh my god, there's a
Most
demon
likely
behind that
anything
doll.
Call Patrick Wilson.
Call Patrick on September 5th.
Yeah, I told you.
That's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
September 6th is my birthday.
Happy early birthday.
Oh, that's the song from The Conjuring. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, I'm gonna see this for my birthday. Oh, that guy looks
Is
cool.
that Christina Ricci?
I think it was Christina Ricci.
Something's different.
Oh. Splashing blood. There's all this blood coming out of the sink like it's a Kubrick movie. All right. Why this case was their last. Oh, that's okay. I like that. That's a little angle. That's a good angle. So they're the movie.
I've been waiting so patiently for you.
My teeth are dry. No. all right. So this movie is based on their last case, with the idea of it being like this is why it's their last case because it's so very, very haunted. Except the only problem was that the one guy, the one demon in this, kind of looked like what's the David Arquette's trans sibling? Didn't he have a trans sibling, Arquette? Wasn't there one Arquette that was trans?
Patricia?
No, I think Patricia's always was born a lady. I think, yeah, there was the one that was in Bride of Chucky. Who the female Chucky doll killed at the beginning of the movie.
Alexis
Arquette. Yeah, the one demon looked like Alexis Arquette in Bride of Chucky, which threw me off because he's not that scary in it. But yeah, I'll see it. I'm excited. I feel when a movie like that comes out around my birthday, I feel like they're
about your birthday.
well, I feel like they're doing it for me.
They're not. September is a really normal month to put movies in.
Not that normal. They like it in the summer usually. Right? Don't most movies they like it in the summer?
Sure, but that's technically the tail end of summer.
Yeah.
But
Labor Day weekend.
It's really the beginning of fall.
No.
You know what I
You're
mean?
Virgo, right?
I don't know.
Virgin.
No.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think so. You better take that back. Not even close. 3 times confirmed. Jesse in Chicago.
Hey, what's up, guys? Happy Wednesday.
Thank you.
I want to know, are the vibes up? Are we excited for today? It's NFL schedule release day.
Yes.
We are 12 hours away.
We have made one of those construction paper chains that you make in the days leading up to Christmas in public school, where you rip off a link every single day because of this huge announcement that was made during the draft that schedule release day is coming. And yes, we have finally reached it. Thank you, Jesse. Today is NFL schedule release day. Although, like, some of the games we already know. Like,
how is this not a national holiday?
I would think it would be. I'm surprised we're at work. But then they say, on Monday we were talking about Philadelphia and Dallas.
That was just rumored.
Oh. But then yesterday I was reading about the YouTube game in Brazil.
Yeah.
That's not about it. Well, today's the day they're supposed to announce the schedule.
Yeah, but I think don't we only know one opponent?
Oh, so you're saying we know one of the teams that's going to be playing,
Is it that game?
Not the other. Oh, okay. All right, they're saving that. Good. No, it's very, very, very exciting.
Yeah, it's the Chargers against
TBD.
I'll tell you in 12 hours.
Wow.
I mean, how are you going to watch anything tonight except that?
That's that's an event tonight?
Yeah, it's released at 8:00
p.m.
Yeah.
Why don't you just put it out in the morning?
Why?
Why would you put it out at nighttime? Are they doing a show?
No, I don't think so.
They're just going to give it to like the NFL
the
analysts.
teams will probably just tweet it out.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
And it'll be like, oh, there's my schedule.
What if I told you I pay attention to the schedule? I go like this. Hey, who's playing this weekend?
Playing this weekend.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at in terms of looking at the NFL schedule. Who's playing this weekend?
That.
That's a big deal, though. That YouTube is getting an exclusive game. One of the Week 1 games that are going to be in Brazil.
No, the first game.
The first game of the season?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because last year I'm pretty sure it was the first game of the season.
Whoa. What channel is it going to be on?
YouTube.
But what YouTube channel? YouTube's own YouTube channel?
Yeah, and YouTube TV.
Well, then it's not exclusive to YouTube.
Well, it's exclusive. I mean, it's exclusive in the same way.
It's more of like a Google exclusive.
But like
YouTube TV and YouTube are two different services.
Yeah, but they're owned by the same company.
Which company is it?
Google.
Oh.
But just like Sunday Ticket, you can get Sunday Ticket on YouTube.
Nice.
And but they want you to subscribe to YouTube.
So it's more like a YouTube TV exclusive that is also going to be on YouTube.
It will also be on YouTube.
Right. Okay. All right.
But that's the only way to watch it.
YouTube or YouTube TV.
Yeah.
It's got its own I'm
sure when the game is going to start and you turn on YouTube TV, it'll populate a channel.
Right. Right. It'll just be like, this is on.
Right.
And same with YouTube. Like, you go on YouTube, it'll be on the front page of this YouTube channel. Now, are they going to do the ads? So, right as they're getting into the end zone, you have to pause for 30 seconds.
That's right.
So you can listen to some guy, sell boner pills or something.
Steven Singer?
Yeah. Let me tell you about Steven Singer Road. No, skip ad. Why can't I skip ad? Yeah, if you're sitting there and you pretend to be a football fan and you don't have YouTube Premium, I don't know what you're doing. Because they're gonna put them in the least click out moments possible.
There's a rumor that it'll be the Chiefs.
What a rumor. Chargers and the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, well.
Whoa. And that's week 1?
That's week 1.
Whoa. Well, I guess we know where things are going. I saw they were making a big deal about
Yeah, that's Friday, September 5th.
Travis Kelce's lost weight in the offseason, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess. Good. I mean,
Okay. All right.
yeah. Oh, he's getting in shape for the season.
Yeah. Whoa. Taylor Swift's boyfriend loses weight. Oh, okay, cool. TJ in St. Louis.
Hey, salutations, boys.
Salutations.
Hey, every year, the Los Angeles Chargers, they do the best schedule release on their social medias. They'll do almost like an anime one a couple years ago where it had Pat McAfee and AJ Hawk in a helicopter.
That's sick.
It's honestly, every year, it's so funny. So, yeah, go ahead and check that one out.
Schedule releases have become
Thank
a
you,
thing
TJ.
where teams can try to get creative with how they present the video. Like last year, the Lions had Tim Robinson and Sam Richardson
Oh, that's sick.
reveal their schedule.
The Detroiters
The
themselves.
Detroiters themselves.
They're like
yeah.
massive Lions fans,
They're-
too. So
yeah,
that must
yeah,
have been
they're no
so
joke. Yeah.
fun. It'd literally be like if you're like, hey, Sam, do you want to announce the card for WrestleMania? I go, as a matter of fact, I do.
I absolutely
Can I flex my creative muscle? Well, there's like 5 seconds at the end of the video that you can flex your creative muscle for.
No, they did the whole thing.
Everybody waving.
I just make my own video.
Yeah. Give me the money. Oh, they did it. Okay, this is the 2024 release schedule. So, just judging on my own math here, let me get my pen. 2024 was last year. Correct? 2024 was last year?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, good. And they made it look like The Sims? The Chargers made their schedule release look like The Sims?
Yeah.
People still play The Sims?
Yeah. They're making a movie.
Are they really?
I think so.
Oh, they might, everybody's like, we're the next Minecraft movie.
I mean, it started with Barbie, I feel like. Or actually, no, Lego.
Lego movie was probably where it started, where it's like we could just license these toy franchises.
Yeah, let's just do Play-Doh.
Honestly, it started with Clue.
That's true.
The Who Done It. All right, this was last year's. Okay, I'll take a look at this. So I know. A little loud. Money bubble. Oh, that's fun. That's what I would do too. They put them all the Sims in the pool, and they took out the ladder to get out of the pool. Now they're stuck in the pool.
Oh, no, now they're going to drown.
Okay, they're doing Sims. Dressing up a guy like a clown. Oh, I get it. Raiders. He's in a Raiders jersey. Oh, okay. You can hit pause. I get it. I get where they're going. They're basically like making all the teams that they're going to play look like humiliating versions of The Sims. Like they trapped all the Sims in the pool, but all those Sims represent the teams that they're going to be playing because they're going to smoke them. They're going to smoke each and every one of them. All right, that's fun. And every team gets to. So is one team ridiculed because they're not like it's not theirs is not fun?
I don't know.
I'm going to ridicule.
I don't think every team does something like cute and fun like this.
Well, if you just do it normal, it's like that's like.
Hey, here's our schedule.
I mean, that's a minimum requirement. Like you only have to have 12 pieces of flair, but you can't. A lot of people choose to go above and beyond. That's all I'm saying. All you have to do is admit your schedule. But a lot of people admit. All you have to admit it. Who are you going to be playing? All you have to do is announce what your schedule is. But a lot of teams choose to go above and beyond, and we encourage that.
Is this the Tim Robinson one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right, let's see a little bit of this one. This is from last year, obviously. What's to expect from this year's big schedule drop is what they're calling
They
it.
should just do it every year.
For all the teams.
Hi, I'm Tim.
I'm Sam.
We're the advertising team the Lions hired to release the schedule.
Why is
And
he-
he said, well,
he
we've got a
was
lot of
for
great
saying-
ideas for that.
Why does Tim always insist on talking like that? I'm Tim.
Well, they're playing their characters.
Did they
From
play
the Detroiters.
No, not the Detroiters. Everything they've ever done. Like
I know.
I love too that people are now like doing like full blown analyses of what Tim Robinson is really doing and the deeper commentary on like hyper aggressive culture. Okay. Like he's just so angry about things he doesn't need to be. He's just tense all the time.
It's the greatest.
A lot of the ideas they just like were like,
No.
Some of them, they said these are dangerous. Let's say we were met with pushback.
A lot of pushback, a lot of hurt feelings. I think it would be a big mistake if we didn't say them out loud, just to get some reassurance.
Just to get them off of our chest.
We are going to do an attack ad on Fanatics because they leaked the jersey before it came out. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
That's not yours to give out. Then we're going to dox them, say where the owner lives and where the second in
moment. So they're saying they don't fully understand why the NFL would be against them doing an attack ad on Fanatics. What are you doing? I also love that that's the attack ad. Here's the contents of the attack ad. Why would you do that?
in command lives. They said that's not good. They said that that's mean.
And they said that it was like dangerous.
It's like illegal or something, whatever. It's like, shh.
Yeah, sure. Then we said, well, how about we have a little talk with the referees of the Dallas game?
Just a little talk.
Just a little talk.
First commercial to have swears in it. Sorry, I'm jumping the gun, but we were going to do
yeah.
At the very least, people would go, what the hell did that just say?
Then we came up with the idea of, like, we built this machine, the Liontron 2000. And so, like, the idea of it is that it, like, turns on, and then you,
yeah, we don't really know.
You put a hot dog in there, and somehow it disappears.
A hot dog that size, motherfucker. Oh.
It's not supposed to do that.
Is it not? Oh, it's cold. Whatever's coming out of there is cold.
Did you put some in this?
I didn't put smoke in it. We just glued a bunch of to a box.
The fire department came by and said, stop.
Everybody's telling us to stop doing what we're trying to do.
You could use this and then say, Lionatron 2000.
It does feel like as they're going, it does feel like as they're going that Tim is half breaking the whole time because he's like, I can't believe they're letting us do this.
And it's got to be so hard to just do shit with your best friend and like not break at some point.
I know, and just do it like we're gonna make it the silliest thing imaginable, and it's gonna be the schedule reveal. Like we're doing this for the NFL right now, for our favorite NFL franchise. You get to play.
And you gotta be the Lionatron 2000.
I don't know. What do you want me to do? Do a voice from it?
Be a robot. Can we talk about this in the back? I don't understand why you're trying to undermine. They said no. They said, what is it? What does it do? We said, we don't know.
But you said no to everything, so what do you expect us to do? The Lions have said, hey, how about we just release the list just without any attacking people?
That's your idea.
Yeah, they loved it because it's their idea. So without any further ado, here's the schedule.
Here's the schedule. These are the teams. Look at this. That's going to be a good game.
It's going to be a great one.
That one's going to be fun.
Great job, Mike North.
Yeah, Mike North. What a great schedule.
They're listing the schedule as they go in front of them.
These are all, check them off as wins.
How are they scrolling in? Are they coming
in from the top down, up from the bottom up?
Side?
Do me a favor, do one that zigs.
Yeah, do a silly one. Have a silly one that bounces all around.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Why'd you try to get me to do a robot voice?
Because I thought you'd be amazing at it. Let's do one that comes in like this.
One team comes from here.
Then we'll look at it like this.
Here, all stuff.
Okay. All right. We got it. It's very Tim Robinson. The best. I can't wait for that movie. That's next week?
I mean, if you want to go tonight, we can go tonight.
I'm not going with you.
It's in the city.
Well, I can't.
Yeah, I think it's next week.
Wouldn't it be great if I told you I can't make it, and then I come in tomorrow with a full review? It was so good. I can't believe you didn't go.
Good. I think it's only playing at Lincoln Center right now.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll wait till it's in the Westchester.
Can't wait.
But speaking of demons and hot dogs demon, we're getting to see a demon on trial right now. P. Diddy, as it turns out, seems to be. He might be an actual demon. It is so weird listening to this trial because like you're listening to people describe all these horrific things that this human being has been doing for years, and there's so much of it that there's no way. I mean, it goes back to like all these like high profile, insanely disgusting cases. There's no way that dozens and dozens and dozens of people didn't know full well what was going on, or at least like were vibing out what was going on. Like people, this has got to be who he is. The amount of hours that he put into being a horrific monster. There's no way that you could like hide in plain sight. Like people who are in those circles had to know, at least to the extent of, hey, stay away from this guy. This is a weird guy.
That's what they say about like Weinstein.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
stay away.
How is it possible?
Right, and it's not possible.
Right.
And Tarantino's honestly the only one who's like, no, everybody knew.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks. I
Don't
probably
try to
shouldn't have. I should have said something, but like, nobody knew the specifics necessarily, but everybody knew this guy's a creep. Watch out for this guy. Now, the difference with Diddy is then it starts making you go, well, shouldn't somebody then have said, hey, why don't you get Bieber away from him? Why don't you get this kid away from him? Why don't we watch who he's hanging out with and all this stuff? But the thing that to me is like so crazy about this trial is that Diddy's lawyer has to zero in on what the exact charges, to the point where he's like, yeah, we can admit domestic abuse. Yeah, we can admit this. We can admit that. We can admit this. Like all this horrific stuff. Nobody's saying it didn't happen. But the whole defense is, but it wasn't trafficking. So you're going to hear all this insane stuff. And the bottom line is, but was it trafficking? And you're like, I whether it was trafficking or not.
Okay,
the stuff
beat the girl, but it wasn't trafficking.
You didn't traffic her though.
Yeah,
and I don't even understand how a jury could be expected to hear, even if they can prove that he literally did everything except traffic, which I don't think they can. But even if they could prove that he did everything except traffic, I don't understand how a jury could, of human beings, could compartmentalize like that.
What's the letter of the law?
Yeah, but they're not lawyers. They're just humans with, human emotions going, I guess that's the letter of the law, but can we really put him back out on the street? This guy's nuts.
You think he would reoffend?
Would he redo the stuff that they're talking about he did on the stand? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he would do it the first day.
He got away with it. Why not?
Right, he'd lock himself up for we found out yesterday, I believe. The longest freak off was 4 days long. I mean, I'm thinking hot dogs vacations are long. A 4-day long freak off.
WrestleMania is only 2.
Yeah. And there's like time off.
Right.
Sleep between, He said the longest freak off that poor Cassie had to do was 4 days long. And it's not like every 2 hours a day for 4 days. It's a 4-day long freak off where he's like having her do stuff and having escorts come in, and there's piss and there's baby oil and there's all kinds of insane stuff, like to the point where after only 2 days of testimony, a lot of the rumors and a lot of the articles that were coming out that really felt like you've got to be sensationalizing it were actually downplaying how insane this was all going. Once you start hearing about the Punisher, you're like, what the fuck was Carlos Mencia doing there?
Oh my God.
Anyway, it's a different Punisher.
Are you sure?
I'm not
John
sure.
Bernthal?
Might have been John Bernthal. No, they said there was an escort named the Punisher, and that's the one Diddy liked to hire.
He liked to hire a lot of them.
He hired a ton of escorts.
6. I read about
filled a pool, like a little
blow-up pool.
A blow-up pool. Because it's not a baby pool filled with baby oil. It's an inflatable pool filled up with baby oil. That's why he had all those bottles, because he was filling up inflatable pools and just squeezing bottles of baby oil. Look, you go back to like, oh, we didn't know. It's not like one person was filling up that pool. You know how many people...
It's not like Diddy was doing it by himself.
He didn't do one bottle. You know how many people it takes to squeeze bottles of baby oil into an inflatable pool enough that you actually fill up the pool? It's a lot.
How do you know?
I tried it once, and I tried to do it by myself, and it took weeks. Weeks. So on day 1, which was 2 days ago, it said 2 witnesses testified, a security officer at the hotel where Diddy was filmed beating Cassie, and this guy Daniel Phillips, who says he was paid multiple times to have sex with Cassie. So the escorts are coming out, the security's coming out, they're all going like, yeah, this escort was paid to have sex with Diddy's girlfriend at the time, and the security was there going like, look, this is what was going on. And again, the lawyers are going, yeah, but that's not trafficking.
The security guard was testifying because he's the one that was involved in the quote bribe to get that video taken away.
We had that prosecutors say there was $100,000.
That may have just been a gift
of a bribe. I mean, yeah, maybe a nice tip for the service.
Like, hey, I appreciate everything that you did.
There's baby oil everywhere. Here's $100,000.
Exactly.
You're gonna need new carpeting.
Whereas like hot dogs, like, sorry, I threw up on the carpet. No tip.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're saying there's a $100,000 bribe to keep the hotel video under wraps.
And it worked.
Well, yeah, for a while. But I want to find out, like, who got paid off, and I don't think they should get away with it. You can't. It's literally, not only is it like you're watching a human do this to another human, it's literally a crime.
Do you think it went to one person, or it was like split up like tip money at the end of the night?
That's a great question. I feel like
a little to the maid, a little to the bellhop.
I feel like there was a lot that went to one person.
The person who was in the security office saying, like, what the fuck?
Mainly in charge of the video, because it says the bribe was to keep the video under wraps, not the beating under wraps, the video of the beating. So there's probably more money doled out to, like, the security guard, to the escort, to whoever was around that saw the beating. And then there was probably a big sum of money given to the person who had the video, or who knows, maybe somebody high up at that hotel that, like, oversees all of it. Because it's not like one person could see that video, delete it, and then be like, that's fine.
Right.
The escort says that he was paid $6,000 per session to have sex with Cassie while Diddy watched. At one point they said, like, Diddy was wearing like a bandana around his nose and mouth, and like sunglasses and a hat or something like that.
And he said he was an importer-exporter.
Yeah, he was looking like Ted Kaczynski. Importer-exporter, the sketch of Ted Kaczynski.
But the escort said...
Importer-exporter.
That's what he said.
He's like, talk about a guy who doesn't know, like, I'm an importer-exporter. And they're like, what? You're clearly P. Diddy in a bandana.
Matchsticks. But he said that the first time Diddy started talking, he's like, I knew exactly who it was.
Of course. I'm an importer-exporter, and I thought I told you. And then here's the problem. Here's the problem. Diddy was portraying himself as an importer-exporter, and the guy goes, are we done? And Diddy goes, I thought I told you that we won't stop. And
he said, That's right.
They said he just kept clinging milk bottles together and asking people to come out and play. The escort, blowing him up, said that Diddy would always be sitting in the corner masturbating, and occasionally he would step in and say, let me get some, is what he would say. He's going to come get some, and then the escort would have to sit in the corner and watch Diddy get some.
Take a break.
Which is like, I mean, what do you...
hey, you're getting paid.
The escort is the escort. I'm sure that these escorts see so much weirdness in their lives, especially high-profile escorts. But I mean, for Diddy, even that part, even just that one part, like, at what point do you realize it's almost like chemically, when you do so much Molly that all your endorphins are just shot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know how to naturally get that boost of happiness anymore because you've done so many drugs. Like, this is what this guy needs to do for kicks at a point.
Well, yeah, like anything, you build a tolerance.
Right. Yeah. At a point, you need to be like, you know what? And that's, I mean, I feel like it sometimes happens with bad people who get access to what people like Diddy have access to, where it's like, because I can have it, I will have it. Because I can have it, I should have it. Instead of having self-discipline where you go, yes, I have, more money than God at this point, but maybe I should just act like a human being and treat other people like human beings and
see, that's what the problem is.
Leave money to my kids instead of being like, I don't have to be a human anymore because I got all this money.
They don't think that they're on the same level as you or I.
Which it's like, instead of being like, you know what, a lot of this, some of it is because I worked really hard. But there's a lot of people who work really hard that don't get this. Like, a lot of what's happened to me is through good fortune. Meetings with the right people, great timing, and luck.
Oliver Stone.
It's literally the story of every single person who's got money like that. Nobody that has money like that didn't get there through at least some degree of good fortune and luck.
Right.
Except in order to understand that, you need a base level of humility.
But that's looking at it as a logical human being.
That's right.
I don't think when you get to that level, you're a logical human being. I think
some people maintain that.
I'm not saying every single person that is extremely wealthy doesn't think that way, but I think a lot of people, like Diddy, have this insane amount of money. They're able to do anything they want, anything that they want that's perverted. If it's against the law, it can get swept under the rug. Nobody has to know about it. And they can just keep doing this and keep getting away with it, and there's no repercussions to their actions.
See, I'm very happy to know that if I were ever to, like, You get this like insane thing of wealth. The stories you hear about me would be like the stories you hear about Warren Buffett, where it's like, yeah, he's really weird. He lives out in Omaha and just drinks Coca-Cola and M&Ms and eats M&Ms all the time.
And keeps getting new fake teeth.
That's right. I keep getting upgrades on my teeth. Right.
That's like a weird thing you would do.
That's 100%.
Yeah, but in your case, it would be like the Pope, where like everybody's talking about his brother. Everybody would be talking about your friends.
Hot Dog and Troy.
Yes. I didn't want to name names.
Yeah, but also I'd like slip Hot Dog money just to see what would happen if Hot Dog had money, because Hot Dog, you could tell. We talked about it yesterday.
He'd be horrible.
Well, he's bad now, and because he's got like
some disposable income.
Any disposable income makes him a bad person. I can only imagine how bad it could be. But yeah, I mean, you're right, Troy.
Well, you also see that. I mean, you don't have to be like ultra rich to, treat people like that. I've seen people who have way less money treat people like they're above them. Like it's
there are people who work here who do that.
Yeah, like it's not.
And then, but that's like, I'm sure any of you
so
guys.
So it's like that combination of that person and that amount of wealth.
Anyone
that's Diddy.
Who can hear my voice right now, who has a gig where they have any kind of the manager at Burger King. You know what I mean? Who's a shithead. The middle management guy. If you're a trucker, the dispatcher, who's a piece of shit. Like anybody who gets a tiny little bit of power and becomes a maniac. Like there's so many human beings that do it. And it's like, why?
Well, you're also approaching this from like a person that has like a really good kind of moral standard. You came from a good family. You were raised properly.
Right.
If you're not raised properly, you don't have a good foundation. You don't have a moral North Star.
But there's no sort of, and I agree with you, but there's no sort of thing where there are things that are universally, like you don't have to be taught that certain things are universally, this is a bad thing to do. You can look at a human being and say, I shouldn't have done that to that human being.
I disagree. I
really?
think that there's people that think that you are below them. You are better than them, and you're disposable, and you're worth nothing.
So, like, somebody like Diddy truly, you think, believes, I am of a higher level of species.
I'm in a God tier.
Yeah.
And all these people, I can hire people to do whatever I want, and these people are underneath me, and they're disposable. And I'm not saying this happened, but in situations like this, sometimes these people disappear.
Sure.
And it's like, and
you always hear stories like that.
And there's no like, oh, I made a human being no longer exist. And it's just, you're disposable. You're gone. It's on with life.
But that's, I think the beginning of that, like the first level is, if I pay this person, I can treat them however I want because I pay them. Right? And it's like, no, dude, that's not how human beings work.
But again, it's a moral standard.
Yeah.
Like, what's Diddy's North Star? What is he using as a moral compass? Exactly. So
I mean,
you're trying
stumped.
You're trying to apply your logic of having a good moral compass.
He has no moral compass.
Right.
Sam?
No, Diddy.
Oh, yeah.
I have a moral compass.
Yeah, Sam's got moral. I'm saying nobody that's like, hey, escort, pee in my girlfriend's mouth.
Right.
Has a moral compass.
Right.
Unless there is a deep conversation between two adults going like, this is something I would get my rocks off on.
It doesn't sound like there was a deep conversation with her.
This does not seem like that scenario, Travis. You're 100% right. There are scenarios in which
there's consenting adults and
things that we would consider weird,
right,
to certain human beings are like, this is how we get our rocks off. And these two human beings are mature adults who have had these conversations to go, you know what I would like to do, and they're in a very trusting place.
It's a different story.
We're not judging.
I don't think this is the situation.
It doesn't strike me that way at all, especially since he met Cassie when she was 19 years old.
Right. It seems like there's some sort of manipulation.
And a slight power dynamic, a slight power imbalance here. Slight.
Yeah.
He said, Diddy...
The escort?
Told the escort and Cassie, y'all need to rub more baby oil on each other. You don't have enough on. I mean, it all comes back to the baby oil, doesn't it? Isn't it? Yeah. I mean, it really... Those initial reports about thousands of baby oil being found, sometimes that stuff goes away, but this is like the loaded gun theory in a movie. That if in Act 1, we see a loaded gun, by the end of the movie, somebody's getting shot. If in Act 1, we find out there's 1,000 bottles of baby oil in a closet, it's coming back up.
We're going to know.
We're going to know all about it.
Y'all need to rub some more. baby oil.
It does sound like Uncle Baby Billy. Yeah, Uncle Baby Billy became a horrible person when Uncle Baby Billy's Bible Bonkers took off.
Yeah.
When Uncle Baby Billy's Bible Bonkers took off, I mean, you should see the way he treats this nanny. It's horrible. Get inside, bitch! Like, what the hell, Uncle Baby Billy? Like, I mean, you're late in life. Couldn't you be grateful for your success?
No, he's got to make changes.
Changes. Shouldn't it be like teenses?
No, changes.
It's not up for debate. That's the title of the show. It says Diddy forced the male escort to pee in Cassie's mouth. Diddy's this is where Diddy's attorney comes in.
Good. He's got to hate his job.
I mean, this is where we talk about letter of the law. This is where it's like, of course, that's your job, and it's an important job in our judicial system to have somebody that follows the letter of the law. But I mean, to have to go through hoops to figure out how this is okay is like,
you're using everything you learned.
Yeah, and I don't know what kind of Ace Ventura shower you have to take when you go home at night.
Yeah,
because they're disconnected from any sort of
lawyers.
Oh, yeah.
Especially prosecuting attorneys too. I'm sure that there are cases where a prosecuting attorney, the human part of him goes, wait, I don't think, but they go, no. My job is to.
There were many times in Blue Bloods when.
What's Blue Bloods?
It's just a police procedural I used to watch.
And was it on streaming or?
No, it was on like CBS.
Network television procedural. Okay.
But one of the characters.
Tom Selleck?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the characters was a prosecutor, and sometimes there were cases she did not want to prosecute.
But she had to.
She had to because it was her job.
And where'd you learn that?
Blue Bloods.
Police procedural?
Yeah.
No, okay.
Yeah, it was on for like 11 seasons. You didn't catch it?
How many seasons did you watch?
All of them.
Okay.
That was appointment television.
I see.
Yeah. So anyway,
it's like how Troy is with Cuomo.
Yeah.
You were with Blue Bloods.
With Blue Bloods, yeah.
I mean, you got to have your programs.
And speaking of which,
go ahead.
Cuomo had on Suge Knight last night.
No way. Okay.
He was saying some
who's
crazy
booking
shit.
Cuomo?
I sent you the link. I don't know if it's on the
whoever books Cuomo's guests. We need to snipe that panel booker because I'd love to have Suge on.
Cuomo was saying, or Suge Knight was saying some crazy shit, bro.
Wow. So it says so this is what Diddy's attorney said. He argued that Diddy's love of baby oil is not a crime.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess it's not it's not a crime. It's not a crime to love baby oil. It's really weird.
It's excessive. It sounds like it's excessive.
And anything to excess can be harmful.
But
especially baby oil.
Not a crime.
Not a crime.
And you're right. He probably went home, took a shower, and was like, well,
I didn't lie. That's not a crime. He's like scanning through all his books. Before I say this, let me make sure love of baby oil to this level is not a crime.
He Googled it.
And he also said that the freak off videos will prove that sex was consensual. And I say that to say that they are talking about playing the freak off videos in the courtroom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is,
I mean, you have 4 days worth of video.
I mean, this jury,
That's a lot of video.
this jury,
there's no time limit on trials.
They better eat a heavy lunch because they're going to be in there for a while. I mean, I can't imagine.
This is wild, man. This is a wild case.
It's going to be like Clockwork Orange, keeping your eyes open.
Oh yeah. And the but the defense attorney is the one going like, we're going to play the freak off videos.
Yeah, he's saying somehow those will prove that it was consensual.
I just can't believe that a human being could watch this like stuff and go like, you know what? The guy who made these videos should definitely be on the street. I understand that you have to go by the letter of the law, but I just don't understand how that's possible in any way, shape, or form.
He probably doesn't believe that he deserves to be on the street. He's getting paid to do a job.
But he is saying, I want to play the videos for you because you are going to want him back on the street after you see these videos. That has to be misguided. It has to be.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
But I'm sure it's going to look like nobody's crying or anything in the videos.
That's probably what he's
people look
argue.
like they're smiling and they look like they're having fun. I mean,
nobody's saying no.
Nobody's
trying to get away. Everybody's just following Diddy's orders, and orders are not.
And he's a rock star, and this is what rock stars do.
They must have had to record these in SLP so you get the full 6 hours on the videotape.
Yeah.
They're going for 4 days at a time. That's going to get expensive. And then yesterday...
That was just day one.
It was day one we got that information. Yesterday, poor Cat, that was when the escort was testifying. I think we heard from an escort, a male escort, and a security guard testifying on day one.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is all happening so quick. When we were first talking about this Diddy trial starting and jury selection, I was thinking, we got like a month before we were going to start talking about this. Yeah, nope. Like, no, we found the jury. We're ready to go.
And I think that's, I think that's why. Because once you find a jury for a case this high profile, you don't want to give anybody a chance to back out. You don't want to give anybody a chance to start reading up on the case. Let's go.
And also, how complicated this all is. Clearly, they're going to go the distance on this, and they don't want to keep them. Are they sequestered, this jury?
I would assume so.
Don't know. I mean, because there's pros and cons. Like sometimes they don't want to sequester the jury because they get so fed up that, like with the OJ jury, like they were like, we're getting the fuck out of here today. Like we're leaving.
No, they're not sequestered.
And that's probably for that reason. I mean, they're probably like, told they can't do this, they can't do that.
They're allowed to go home every night with strict instructions to avoid news coverage of the trial and the internet.
They can't use the internet?
It's got to be. Who's actually doing that?
I got an email, and another juror's going to be like, "You got a what?
You got what?
How the fuck would you get an email?" No, I mean snail mail. Snail mail. Can they listen to Diddy's music?
Yeah.
It doesn't say you can't. Okay. On day 2, yesterday is when Cassie testified, his girlfriend, or his, ex-girlfriend, I would like to say. And this poor woman, man, I mean, all she's tried to do, because she's pregnant now, I think she's got a couple kids already, and she clearly, to me anyway, reading along, is just trying to live her life now, after this, like, horrific situation that existed when she was younger. And, like, it's all, and she's doing the right thing, but it's got to be impossible, man. She said that her arguments with Diddy. So the bodyguard on day 1, or the security guard, said that he had heard Cassie getting hit.
No, the escort said that.
Oh, the escort. Sorry, the escort said he had heard Cassie getting hit twice. Yeah. Is what he said. And Cassie said that Diddy would bash her on the head. That their arguments turned physically. She said too frequently. So probably more than twice.
I would assume so.
She says within the first year of their relationship is when the freak-offs began. And that she was afraid that Diddy would blackmail her with the recorded freak-offs, which, I mean, 1,000%. Yeah. How you could not believe that is mind-numbing to me. Because
especially when you're trying to become an artist.
1,000%. Like but even when you're just trying to live a life, like, that's why, every single person associated with the Epstein case said that he videotaped everything. Why did he videotape everything? Because these high-profile people were there doing things that they would not want people to find out that they were doing. And so we videotape everything. We can hang this over your head and you will never rat me out. Like, that's, and it's all these cases. Like, that's the thing that's in common. Cassie said that she didn't have time for her music career because the freak-offs, like, became her job.
That's insane.
Like they were happening so frequently. They were so long. She said she was talking about the recovery period for some of these freak-offs. That she was on drugs the whole time. She would leave dehydrated, exhausted, because they were going on for days, like just locked up in this room. And like at this point, Diddy has this whole catalog of music that he's already made, but she's thinking like, she had like 1 or 2 singles, right?
I want to say like 1.
Right. And it's like, okay, well, I'm just starting my music career, and now she's like locked up in this thing that she can't escape out of.
And remember, they would brag about the recovery. Remember, he would be like hooked up to an IV.
Yeah, with his mom.
Yeah, with his mom. Like, what is she doing?
Like, what?
And they're bragging, like, oh, we had a party, we have to recover.
Yeah.
It's like, now you know what they were recovering from.
That's strange, man.
Yeah. It's devil stuff.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's hard to argue that.
He said that Diddy once left a freak off to go confront Suge Knight, which is good that Chris Cuomo, I hope, followed up on that. But like, I mean, that's how long these freak offs would go for. That Diddy would have to be like, hang on, I gotta go. I have like, I can't.
have business to attend.
I can't put my business on pause for this long. You guys keep the freak off going. I'm gonna go attend to some business. I'll be back.
It's not like, oh, okay, this freak off will be over in an hour.
Right, I can take care of it after the freak off.
It's like,
and you wonder if the people in the freak off were like, when Diddy leaves, they're like, okay, we can just stop and hang out now, or they're like, do they have to continue?
Like, yeah, like, and how do you know after 4 days of freaking off? Like, is there like a sort of like, okay, I mean, is there a finale? Like,
well,
how do
he
you
would
know?
choreograph everything. Like, she was talking yesterday about how, like, literally everything that they would do, he would be directing them as to, like, what to do.
We're going to do this, then that, then this, then that.
And he would tell them all the time, like, slow down, it's getting too hot. Like,
because we want to pace this. What a fucking maniac.
Yeah. So I'm sure when it was over, you knew it was over.
Everything is control. Yeah. It all comes back to, like, controlling. I mean, if you meet a person that even flirts with the idea of wanting to have control over you, get the hell away from that human being.
I mean, they're just such good manipulators.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know it until you're in it.
Oh,
right.
Like, I'm in this.
Especially if you're young and have goals that this person can help you with.
And he's one of the biggest music producers of that time.
He's a mogul. He's still to this day massive music mogul.
But I mean, before all this hit, we were about to celebrate Diddy again. Remember, he won that MTV award,
and he knew. That's why he was like, "No, it's all love."
But I mean, it was like
he figured maybe I'll just put some positive energy out there.
Change my middle name to Love.
Right.
I mean, we were on the cusp of like a renaissance.
Yeah. He got the Video Vanguard Award or whatever it was.
That's a big deal.
Artist of the Millennium.
Yeah.
I hope they took that back.
I don't think it's a take back.
The mayor took back the keys.
That's true.
That's true.
Said you can't get in this city.
Give those back.
You changed fine, you won't give them back. We're changing the locks. It doesn't work anymore.
You don't have to worry about dying if you don't vote anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He said that, she said that, did he prefer a male escort with a large anatomy?
Well,
she was in charge of finding the escorts, and he would specifically say, yeah.
When she started naming names, people inside Diddy's circle that arranged the freak-offs or helped to, that she's the one yesterday that said that Diddy once had a blow-up pool filled with bottles of baby oil at a hotel and insisted the oil be heated and applied every 5 minutes. So the baby pool is full of bottled oil, so they're not filling the pool. It's filled of bottles, and then
that's a lot easier.
You get in and then spray yourself down.
No. I think it's just like a container for it.
Yeah. Like remember when we got Sam all that Faygo?
Oh,
and we just put it in the bucket. Yeah.
Right. But it was too much baby oil for a standard champagne bucket.
So this is just for the display of it.
For the display.
It's like fun when you put like a bunch of Bud Light cans or something like that for a tailgate, but it goes in the pool.
That's right. That's
how
exactly
wacky
right.
we are. This Jimmy Buffett concert.
That's right. That's right. Or a parking lot in Buffalo. You know? And that she identified 6 different male escorts that they hired, including the aforementioned Punisher. Now, is she done, or is she continuing?
She's back on the stand today.
This poor woman.
I mean, because they didn't even get to, like, the video.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. She's pregnant. I mean, that's so
She's
sad.
8 months pregnant.
But on a level...
How does this affect the child?
On a level...
He doesn't know.
She's... Wow.
You put your body under stress.
Vibes.
I know.
But I hope that on a certain level, she wants to be doing this because, I don't know, the kids that she has now, if it's a son or a daughter, or she's having a daughter, whatever, but she wants to be able to say, if something like this happens to you, like, stand up.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
6 and 4.
Right. So she's probably looking at her daughters going like, I want to protect you from this.
Oh, yeah.
I want the world to know about this. And if anything ever happens to you, you should be able to look at me and say, yeah, like, I'm going to stand up and tell the truth, even if it's difficult.
Plus, I would assume it's a lot easier to go through when you know that, like, the world is on your side. You know, like, you're not the one
it's not an uphill battle. You're not proving this thing that people can't believe. Mm-hmm. Because that's another thing with these, like, with somebody like Diddy, is that back then, people would go like, no, he's too famous, right? That was a thing for a long time, that it's like a person who's this public they couldn't be doing stuff this bad because we would know. They're famous. We would know.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you have no idea what you don't know. So luckily, Suge Knight was able to comment on the situation. Cuomo did a great job in getting Suge Knight. Now, are Suge and Puffy, are they friends?
You know, I don't know. It was hard to kind of tell. I mean, he was asked to, like you said, he had to leave to go do some business with Suge Knight.
Right.
Suge doesn't really talk bad about him, but he said some interesting things.
Interesting. Now, Was he advertising the fact that, like, one of the big flaws with Diddy is that he's a producer? However, a lot of the times you find that he's all up in the song and all up in the videos. And if you don't want that, maybe Death Row is the home for you.
I think he kind of stressed that point.
Okay, good. Now, he was on the phone.
He's incarcerated.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was not able to do it in studio. Okay, he's incarcerated.
They're like, we'll send you a card. Like, I'm in jail.
I'm in jail. You could send cars all day long. I can't get in them.
They're not going to
let me out the front door. And is this from when he ran over the guy in the fast food? Is that, remember that? Yeah, among other things, I'm sure.
I'm sure there's a laundry list of things, but yes, I think that poor person, believe they died.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, I mean
he hung Vanilla Ice over a hotel balcony to try to get the rights to his music.
Oh yeah,
and he was successful in obtaining those rights, I believe.
Yeah, he's in jail because he was convicted of voluntary manslaughter.
Oh, he chose to do that
when he ran over that guy.
Well, if you recall, he ran over him and then backed up and then ran over him again.
That does sound voluntary.
The backup is where it's clearly that's fairly cut and dry.
He's just a big Sopranos fan. That's it.
It's possible, but the Sopranos also, they were doing crimes.
Oh well.
Yeah. That's what you have to keep in mind. So okay,
and I didn't get a chance to. There is something that he mentions. I hope it's mentioned in this clip. I didn't get a chance to preview it.
With this clip, I think deals with Trump's potential involvement. Okay. I won't say anything more. Let's hear it.
I don't think Cassie is in a situation where she has to lie. I don't think she's in a situation where she got to be worried anymore. I think she's in a great place with another baby on the way, and I still feel that Puffy's going to be all right and have a fair shot at it because Puffy he's not a dummy. And I'm quite sure somebody's going to talk to those jurors and convince one or two of them, and that's all you need is one. So
can you pause for a second? Suge Knight. I mean, you talk about a master manipulator. I'm not saying anything bad. All I'm saying is that he made Cassie lie for years because she was intimidated, and he's probably going to do jury tampering. I'm not saying anything bad about him. Like, what he's actually saying, and with a pleasant disposition, is like, what the fuck?
Somebody's going to get to the jurors. Don't worry. Somebody will take care of it.
All you need is one.
Listen to what Cuomo has a...
Today, it's going to be a real exciting situation, but I think he's going to be all right.
Sure. Do you think he's going to be all right because someone's going to tamper with the jury? Is that what you're trying to say?
He got enough influence, and I'm quite sure, don't seem like the prosecution is that bad against him. Don't seem like I think he got some favors with the government. I think they're going to show him a little leeway. It might not seem like it when it's all said and done, but I don't think he has nothing to worry about. I don't think he's worried because he's going to be federal. And if he get convicted, Trump's going to pardon him. So,
wow.
What's the worry?
You think...
I've never heard Chris Cuomo react that way.
His mind is blown what he's hearing right now.
Yeah, he can't believe it. I mean, Suge Knight to go like, I think Puffy's going to be fine. He clearly thinks Puffy did it. He goes, he did not say, I don't think Puffy's guilty.
Right.
He said, I think Puffy's going to be fine.
Because they'll get to the jurors.
Either through getting to the jurors or through a favor from the federal government.
Because these are federal charges.
Don't worry, these are federal charges. And Chris Cuomo was like, poof! Do you understand what you're saying right now? And Suge Knight's over there going, what are you going to do, put me in jail?
Yeah.
I'm here already.
You can't do shit.
You're going to put me in more jail? I'm here! Let's hear some more.
He's going to be federal. And if he get convicted, Trump's going to pardon him. So, what's the worry?
You think the President of the United States would pardon Sean Combs for sex trafficking?
Shit, he pardoned Michael Harris, who eventually killed a Jewish teenager, or had him killed. So they don't care about that. It's all about,
Can you pause for a moment? If you could look at Chris Cuomo's face, this is the face of somebody who is knee-deep in quicksand. He's not 100% sure. He's like, I'm pretty sure I was at the beach. I don't know how this ended up being quicksand, But I am getting buried here.
He really finds himself in it often.
Yeah, and on some level he likes it.
I think he loves it
because he knows people are going to talk about this.
He does. And what are they going to do? Fire him from CNN?
Yeah,
he's in the same. He's in News Nation is news jail. He's in the same situation as Suge Knight. What are you going to do? Fire me? Nobody gets fired from News Nation.
News Nation is so happy he's there doing this.
They love it.
They love it.
And he loves that.
Yes. He's the king of News Nation.
And I think he's like, it's like when you're in radio and it's like, do you really want to go and try to fight in a big market, or do you want to be the king of your town? And a lot of people, and it's a great life. A lot of people choose, I want to be the king of this town. I'm staying right here. I think Chris Cuomo has found, he's made millions of dollars through CNN. Millions. He's good. If he can sit there and now be the king of News Nation and go like, and by the way, CNN's not letting him take phone calls from Suge Knight, who's incarcerated.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got a piece of News Nation for coming over.
He probably does. He probably does.
Nobody was talking about News Nation before he got there.
Not one person.
Are those his co-hosts?
Those are people that he refers to for legal information.
Oh.
I like that. I also, you know what my favorite part of that whole thing was? Troy had the answer.
Yeah.
Well, you asked the question. I'm trying to give you the honest answer.
Yeah, no, I like that you had the honest answer, and the reason that you had the honest answer was because you had the information.
Because I was watching the program.
You like the program. It's the program you like to watch.
I was watching it live.
Right. Just like you said, I don't know what's on YouTube because I watched it on the linear network. Yeah.
Honey, it's 8 p.m. Chris
Cuomo's on.
I say that.
Hey, honey, it's time to get after it.
She's like, do you want to watch something? I said, no, you watch whatever you want, but at 8 o'clock, I have a program to watch.
Right. Does he still say get after it, or is that what he used to say? Get after it?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Or does he sit there and say, let the games begin?
I guess you could say, let the games begin. What are you talking about, Nathan?
What a weird guy, Nathan. We'll talk about Nathan, too. We got so much to talk about today.
Busy day.
Let's, and we're trying to work on getting a Suge Knight phoner from jail. I'd like to talk to him.
Hell yeah.
Let's go back to Suge.
Come on, and what the Bucks say, and what the power of the people want.
Suge, I got to tell you, I can't argue with your eyes on the situation because you lived it and you understand the dynamics, and I appreciate you going through all the hoops to call us and weigh in on this. If you're mentioned again or there's something that seems to be in dispute that you would understand, I hope you're okay if we try to come back to you from your perspective.
You always come back, man. You got a great employee. She's a great person. You're a great person. I support you guys. And I got great people in my life. And, hey, God's the best. Thanks again. Thanks for having me.
I love that.
If the Menendez brothers would get out, Suge Knight should be out first.
Good for you. That's right, Suge.
No, I got attorneys.
All right, Suge.
That's right. All right.
I appreciate.
Yeah, I think that Chris also loves the fact that he's like, Suge Knight's my friend now.
Yeah.
Like I would think I would like it if Suge Knight was a friend of our show.
Yeah, come on.
It'd be a cool feeling.
You feel a sense of protection.
Yeah, like Suge Knight's got our back.
And Chris is saying like, hey, here's a platform. What do you got to say?
Right. And I also like, it seems like Suge Knight, at his position in life now, is like, listen, I'm cooked, right? I'm in jail now. Like, this is what I'm doing. So at the very least, I'll just call up your programs and tell you what's really going on.
Yeah.
Like, what else is there? This is what I do now.
Yeah, I mean, he's 7 years into a 28-year sentence.
Right. By the time he gets out, 20 years from now,
80.
Yeah. So it's like,
he's 60 right now.
Yeah, he'll be 80 years old when he gets out of jail. You might as well. And I like that they used a flattering photo of him too on News Nation with the cigar. Like he's still. It looks like
cool photo.
It looks like he's still a mogul.
And that's like peak '90s Suge death row mogul.
Yes. Like
it's not like aging fat.
No. It's peak Suge, like the type of Suge where Tupac was like, you know what? Let me not fuck with Suge.
Yeah.
Like that's where Suge was.
He's eligible for parole in 9 years.
9 years. So if he's 60 now, how old would that make him in 9 years?
60 plus 69.
Hell yeah.
You got me to say it.
He said it. You hear him?
Yeah,
that's
cool.
Awesome. That's awesome.
And Chris goes I think he just talks to these women then. It was just like, the only time I've ever heard of jury tampering is when the mob.
That's what he said. I love that. I love that. And I love that Chris is like, well, we can say that now because he said it. Who would have ever thought is what Chris is saying. I don't know anything about that. But did you hear what Suge said?
Crazy.
Oh man, no, it's really interesting. It's really interesting because I mean, those Diddy parties, and look, I mean, Diddy not doing crimes is weird and creepy. You know what I mean? Like Diddy, like just explaining to a jury the things that Diddy was just into is weird and creepy. So I just can't. I can't imagine like being a juror there and being in that world and hearing all this stuff and just like, because if you want to fairly judge him for whether or not he committed a crime, some stuff, at least temporarily, has to be somewhat normalized. Like this is not illegal, so it becomes like, oh, this is just what he was into. But this stuff, it's like insane.
I think they'll probably just say he's a rock star. This is what rock stars do.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I bet that dude from The Darkness doesn't do this stuff. He's a rock star.
No, he believes in a thing called love.
Yeah, and he goes on YouTube and goes like, this is why every other rock star sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I like that.
They'll probably bring in like Tommy Lee and be like, yeah, we did all that crazy shit. It was the 80s. It was wild.
Plus, the guy from The Darkness, we already know he does not like other people's hands on his women.
That's
especially motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's not hiring escorts.
No, that's a good point. That's what he would say. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the jury, I think over the course of this case, you will find that, yes, an escort was called, but in no uncertain terms, that escort was told to get his hands off of the defendant's woman. Man, it's nuts, man. What a wild thing. Well, obviously, like it's difficult to avoid, but it is. Oh.
You know what else is strange is you see the courtroom sketches,
yeah,
but there's no actual pictures of him now. I haven't seen one. Are they out there?
Well, he's going. There's no photographers in the courtroom, and he's going right from jail into court.
Okay, so then, like, why is Luigi Mangione like? Why do you see?
Oh, that's a good question.
Him coming in, there's pictures all over.
I guess because there are no cameras. It's not that there are no cameras ever allowed in courtrooms. Like they make that call based on the case, I think. So like for Luigi coming in, and whether it's sentencing or whether it's trial or whatever, there are like the news is allowed to be in those courtrooms.
Yeah, it's judge's decision.
But the judge decided to ban cameras from this case. So there's no cameras in the room.
So, but there's cameras. You're allowed to stand outside of the courtroom, right?
Yeah, but he's not going outside the courtroom. There's literally a door in the courtroom. Like the way those courtrooms are set up, like the jail goes right into the courtroom, right? So you're transferred, so you don't hit the public at all.
Plus, the judge in the Luigi trial just giving the people what they want.
Yeah, let me see those sockless ankles. Yeah. It is funny that they're like, look at his loafers. They take pictures of every part of that dude. But did you see in the sketches? Like, it was creepy. They showed, like, in the sketches, Cassie is on the stand, and Diddy is sitting there making, like, a heart. Yeah, like a heart symbol with his hands. Ugh. Like, with his two hands making a heart.
Oh, not to her, though. That was to his kids.
Oh, I thought
that would be so fucked up.
The way they made it,
it made it seem like he was doing it to her.
No, he was doing it to his kids because his kids and I think his mom have been there the first 2 days. They left though first day.
Yeah.
I can't imagine them wanting to listen to that.
No,
and I'd probably tell. Looks like he's smiling in that courtroom sketch.
Yeah, he's seeing his kids.
What are you smiling about, bro?
Yeah, bro.
You see your kids.
You should be super bummed.
I'm sure he's bummed, but it's also like, oh, there's my kids.
No, if my kids showed up and I knew, like, I don't even turn the radio show on for my kids. If my kids showed up and they were like, this is what we're going to be going over to prove that this is what they have to show to prove he's not guilty. This is what they're saying. Everything that I just said about what he's doing, his lawyer is saying this is all proving that he's not guilty. If this is the good news, I would not want my kids in the same state as that courthouse, let alone in the courtroom.
Maybe he's smiling because he knows that they're going to tamper with the jury, and he's done. He's good. Or Trump's going to pardon him.
According to Suge. Suge seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders. I don't know. But he is right. They did. In good news, the Menendez brothers.
This is the feel-good story.
In the feel-good story of the day, the Menendez brothers, who before that Ryan Murphy show, we all thought were horrible murderers. But then we saw that Ryan Murphy show, and it turns out they're just a couple of Milli Vanilli fans that got abused. They did get their resentencing, as we heard that they might. And they were resentenced to now, their original sentence was life without the possibility of parole. And what they said was they got resentenced, but now, number one, the judge said that they finally admitted what they did and showed remorse for what they did. They said that they've been in jail, like, admitting that, yes, we did this to our parents, and here's what we've been doing to try to make some kind of amends and to show remorse for it. And also, they said that, and they talked about this in the series, that in the original trial, which was actually the second trial, is the one that they actually went to jail for, because the first trial was declared a mistrial. In the second trial, they weren't allowed to bring up any of the abuse at all. And so they said that with the acknowledgement of the fact that they're admitting what they did and showing remorse, and that the judge apparently saw the Ryan Murphy show and we can finally acknowledge the abuse, that the judge resentenced the Menendez brothers to life with parole.
No, 50 years to life.
Right.
With the possibility of parole after 30 years.
And they've been there for
more than 30.
For more than 30. So what it is it's like, yeah, it's just they're not being found not guilty. They're not having it thrown out. They're just having the sentence has just been changed so that now they can get parole. And I think they can get parole pretty soon.
The final parole hearing in California, I believe, is mid next month.
Right. So they could get paroled mid next month. And if I were them, I'd try to make sure the parole board gets like a free Netflix sub so that they can watch the show.
Maybe get Ted Sarandos on the phone.
Right. Hey, Ted, can you make sure, maybe even Ryan Murphy, can you make sure that the parole board sees the show?
Because Gavin's got those numbers.
I think, yeah. Get him on your pod, Gav. Because I think that kind of clears it up.
Yeah, are the Menendez brothers alt-right enough for Gavin Newsom to parole them?
That's right. Gavin Newsom's new podcast, I'm turning my back on everything I've ever said I supported. Like, it's called I'm a Fraud with Gavin Newsom. No, I'm a classic liberal. Yeah, that's Gavin Newsom's new podcast. I'm kind of more of a classic liberal.
Yeah, they had like other inmates testifying like on their behalf.
Those are good dudes, they
yesterday.
Said.
Yeah. I mean, they say they call it Menendez University in there because of like
they mentor.
Yeah, because they're mentors.
Wow.
Yeah,
and mentors in a good way, not like here's how you get around the guard.
Not like like,
yeah. Like mentors in the sense like here's how you find purpose. And I'm if they were able to find purpose, locked up in jail
isn't part of jail rehabilitation?
Yes, that you're supposed to be able, when you're locked up, to find purpose and to be able to become a better person while you're in jail. Yeah. Even if you're there for your whole life, like, and for your own sanity. If you're as young as they were, like if you're a young man and you're going in for life, you're going to be driven insane if you don't find purpose in jail. So I would not be sure. I think that I bet they will get paroled.
I think they will too.
I think they will get paroled. It is a big show. I think they will get paroled. Eric and Lyle are 54 and 57.
Still got a lot of years.
Yeah, they've been in jail for 35 years, and who knew we were getting another Menendez chapter? I am so interested to see what these guys do. I think, is there any of the money left?
Podcast?
They're definitely going to do a speaking tour.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of money to be made in a speaking tour. I mean, you know, that what's her face who had her boyfriend kill her mom because of Munchausen.
Oh, right. Yeah.
She became a celebrity.
Yeah.
And the Menendez are way bigger than her. So I definitely think, what do you think is the first podcast they do? You think it's Rogan? They're definitely doing a podcast.
Gavin.
You think they'll do Gavin's podcast?
If he's the one that approves the parole? Are you insane?
This is why, by the way. Case in point, I said politicians should be banned from having podcasts. That includes At the Movies with Ted Cruz. That includes Gavin Newsom. There's no reason first of all, politicians should not have podcasts because they should be too busy. Yeah. They should be way too busy to do a podcast. Okay? It's work to do a podcast. Even if it's like, no, my producer does everything. I go, first of all, I've worked with producers. Okay? They don't do everything. But secondly, even if it's like, no, it just takes like an hour and a half a week. Like, okay, fine. You should be doing something else. You should be doing something else with your hour and a half a week, and also not approving and trying to book guests. Forget all that. Politicians should be banned from having podcasts because that should be a waste of their time. And because you're right, Travis. If it's like unsaid, like, look, it's looking good. Like if Gavin Newsom makes a call, looking good that you guys are going to get parole. I just wonder what your media opportunities are going to be when you get out of jail. And that's all he has to say. And it's like, oh, we better do Gavin's podcast.
I really do think, I think you guys deserve it.
Yeah.
I'm just not.
He's going to make life very difficult for us.
For you. Because you want to get them in studio.
No. I'm saying that they are going to talk to each other and say Gavin's going to make life very difficult for us if we don't do his pod.
He's got us by the balls.
He's got us by the balls here. Let's get out of jail. Let's do this guy's pod.
Won't give him anything juicy.
We won't give him anything juicy. And the nice thing about doing Gavin Newsom's podcast is whoever the guest is, he will blindly agree with them. I've seen it.
Same.
Yeah.
They'll save the good stuff for Theo.
And then Theo would be
the podcast I want.
Yeah. I think Theo would be the one.
And then I hope they take it, because the big thing now is like it's on Theo's thing, is they're taking the clips of the podcast and making them look like little kids.
Little babies. Yeah.
So I hope they do that with the Menendez brothers.
The Menendez babies. They make AI baby podcasts now. I've seen tons of them. Yeah.
That's all the rage right now.
You love them?
It's funny.
Of course
I have to watch them.
He loves them.
He sent them before in news email.
Yes, he has. Look at these baby podcasters. It's like Rogan, and he's talking to Neil deGrasse Tyson, but they're babies.
There was one night his email consisted just of AI videos.
Yes, it was.
We were talking about AI on the show.
No, I know.
And it was very interesting, right? And also, it is all the rage. It's all the rage. We should be talking about the trends. And look.
Baby interviews dog.
That's a good one.
Baby interviews dog?
Yeah.
You like that?
I forget what they call that, but it's the first one. They're trying to like do it again, but the first one was the best.
It was the best one?
Oh, yeah.
See if you can find and you sent that in the email.
A while ago, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, Mike, maybe just do a search for Baby Interviews Dog in your email. It should be there.
If you do a search for Baby Dog in the email, it will show up.
Right, Baby Shark even. So, yeah, I think we will see... I think we will see the Menendez on Theo.
Yep, here it is.
They will probably make a joke about killing their parents. They're like a little like, huh? You know what I mean? Like, huh?
But they're out, so they can make the jokes.
And they probably will be babyfied. Because you're right, Troy. I can't go on Instagram without seeing a podcast hosted by babies. And it's a podcast that I think I'm familiar with based on the background. And the babies look similar to the human beings, but they are babies.
And the same like facial mannerisms.
That's right. But as a baby, it's a funny thing to see.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, good. You found it. I started from the top, please.
Oh, is this, did John LaJoie make this or just post it?
I think this is him. I'm almost positive.
He's,
That's not him. That's a baby.
That's a baby. That's not John LaJoie.
His AI creation.
John LaJoie, by the way, is hilarious. Number one.
I don't know if I know him.
Well, you will know him in a second because he did this great song about growing up, with his wrestling figures and everything. It was just one of those like heartwarming songs. But he really broke out because he was because he was on that show, whatever the show was about fantasy football, the sitcom.
The League?
The League.
Yeah.
But what led to him being on The League was he had a breakout hit called Show Me Your Genitals.
Your genitals.
Your genitals. Show me your genitals. Your genitalia.
I love him.
We're big John LaJoie fans here. Big John LaJoie fans.
Okay. So
I've exchanged messages with him.
Have you?
Oh, absolutely.
Genitals?
No, we were talking about wrestling, but
man,
messages nonetheless.
You got all the ins because of wrestling.
Yeah.
I have a big social circle, which is why I try to tell you guys to mind your P's and Q's. You don't listen to me, but whatever.
I'm starting to.
You're starting to mind your P's and Q's?
I'm starting to listen.
He's not. You are, though.
I just want to be your friend.
I appreciate that, too.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
No, I was going to say, because this is called the Talking Baby Podcast, in case anybody wants to follow along at home.
That's good. Nope. You got to bring him in.
Well, because you're going to hear people talking, you don't realize it's
babies.
It's an infant talking to a dog.
We'll tweet it out so so you can see it. You can watch along. If you follow Sam Roberts SXM on Twitter, you can follow us on Instagram as well. But yeah, here's a baby talking to a dog.
Welcome to the Talking Baby Podcast. On today's episode, we'll be talking to the weird-looking person who lives at my house. Thanks for being here, weird-looking person.
Well, thanks for having me. As you know, you are my third favorite person in the world, third behind the two larger people that we also live with. They're both awesome. So cool. You're fine. You know, and right now those two larger people are both busy and not paying attention to me at all, so happy to chat with you.
So to kick things off, I want to ask you a question, and I apologize in advance if it's naive or ignorant. Look, I'm a baby. I don't really know stuff yet, so just keep that in mind.
Pause for a moment. I love that they're phrasing it in the, like, faux pseudo-intellectual language that podcasts speak in. Sure. You know what I mean? Trying to amplify this mundane conversation. Yeah. I love the word choice is great.
Yeah.
And that they use adult voices for the baby and the dog.
Absolutely.
Right.
So my question is this. What are you? Like, you clearly seem to be a very different kind of person than I am. Am I right? Like, because, like, people look different from each other, you know, like different sizes, skin tones, the hair. But you,
baby's looking around.
I have no idea what's going on. Does this make any sense to you? Am I crazy?
Oh, no, dude, you're 100% right. I've had that thought so many times. Look, I don't really know what I am. That's not really the kind of thing I think about or care about. But I do know that I'm significantly different than you and the other people who live in this house. Like, for sure.
Okay. Well, so aside from how weird you look, what are other differences?
Well, for one, I'm not allowed to poo or pee inside the house. So you guys can do it no problem. You know, in your case, you can just go in your pants wherever and whenever you want, which, by the way, mad respect. You know, that's one of the things I like the most about you.
I'm actually pooing right now.
Oh, I know. I can smell it. But yeah, for some reason, I can't go in here. You know, when I first got here, I did it a few times, but the larger people that we live with were not into it. So I got the message after a couple weeks.
Huh. I wonder why that is. By the way, still pooing. It is flowing out of me. This is a good one.
Okay, I'm aware.
We get it.
Yeah, you get the point.
We get it. It's very funny. It's making me laugh.
People should watch along at home.
Right, you like it.
Yeah.
You like this.
Yeah.
It's funny.
It's AI. It's funny. I'm trying to tell Travis, the AI is really funny.
They're doing a good job with it.
I mean, it's not the AI that is funny. It was written by a person.
You put it all together.
Right.
It's not really a dog talking.
I find this to be stupid.
It's not stupid. It's funny.
If we could just listen to Show Me Your Genitals, then we're all...
No, it's not stupid, because if you did this as a guy in a baby suit and a guy in a dog suit, that's not that funny.
No.
I don't think...
But it's a baby talking to a dog, and they are talking about relatable things. Like, I know what they're talking about, but they don't really know what they're talking about. You know why?
Because it's a baby and a dog.
That's exactly right. You nailed it. And that to me...
I didn't see it that way.
That to me is the funniness of it. Like, the dog thinks... Like, how would a dog know that he's a dog? And how would a baby know that the dog is a dog?
Yeah.
They wouldn't.
Yeah, they wouldn't.
But they are able to intellectualize because they have brains.
And they're like, you're obviously different than me.
Right. And they extend questions conversationally the way podcasts do.
Yeah.
I like it.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
I think it's funny. And now, but they took that concept and they went further with it, and they take like clips of like Rogan and Theo and all kinds of different podcasts, and they babyfy all of them now.
I've seen those, yeah.
And I think that people are like,
what?
I think that people are realizing that it's on trend.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's inescapable.
Well, yeah, we're very close to Troy interviewing Mr. Toots.
Oh, and Troy is a baby.
And Troy is a baby.
A baby Troy interviewing Mr. Toots, I think, would be a hella good podcast. I would watch that.
I wouldn't.
So, Toots, I see that you're wearing a crown. He's like, yeah, you know, the people who live with me have declared me king. You know, it could be very funny like that.
I'm not laughing.
I noticed that. That was weird. That was strange. Well, listen. We should take a break. Shout out to Menendez brothers. And by the way, we don't need to be first. If you do the Gavin Newsom show, which is I'll think whatever you want me to think. That's the name of Gavin's podcast. If you do the Gavin show...
Tell me what to think.
Yeah, tell me what to think. I just want to win. If you do Gavin show, which is I just want to be president, I'll stand for whatever you want. And then you do Theo's show, and you're still looking, you know, to stretch your legs a little bit. You still want to have a good chat. Like, I think the Menendez brothers would have a great time on here. I'm willing to. I don't have any standards. So if you want to go, you know, we're just not really going to talk about the shooting the parents thing. That's fine.
I'm sure you can find plenty to talk to them about.
Plenty to talk to them about.
Maybe they like wrestling.
Being in jail. Maybe they like wrestling. I bet they do. Who doesn't at this point? It's huge again.
Milli Vanilli.
Milli Vanilli. Maybe I will be able to ask them, and I'm pretty good at this interview thing, like maybe without bringing up the specific role, go like, what do you think of Javier Bardem as an actor? No Country for Old Men, a lot. We don't have to mention the Menendez show, and I'll see if they could. Maybe they would slip because they were so comfortable, and they go like, "Yeah, one of the roles he was great in is when they played our dad, who we shot."
Oh, you think he would just say that
if he was comfortable enough? And I would let him know it's a safe space, and we can have that. We can have that talk when you're ready.
Maybe they want to open some packs.
I would 100%.
They've been on a card before. I bet.
Oh, bro, if we could, this is what we would do, Travis. Okay, I take back everything I said about producers. You're a great producer.
Thank you.
I was wrong. This is what we do. We figure out what set the Menendez brothers card is in.
Easy.
I need you to get me boxes. Not packs, boxes. We need to break boxes. And then we have the Menendez brothers come in here. We rip packs with them until we find the Menendez card. And then this is now, I could get them to sign it. I don't even really need them to, because this now becomes the card that Eric and Lyle ripped themselves. And we get that PSA certified, we get it graded.
And on video.
We got it on video, and we all become millionaires, and we all get to do free cuffs.
Do you think... Wow, that went somewhere I didn't think it was going.
Well, we'll be rich.
Okay. I mean, I still have morals, but okay.
Well, I'm saying now we'll be rich, though.
Oh.
Once we're rich, it's fine. Yeah.
Do you think if they get paroled, Tops Now does a card?
Oh, I fucking hope so. Yes, I really hope so. I'll buy multiples of those because I'm
now they know that shit sells.
Yeah, and I'm fucked up over not buying more of the Pope card because I found at the end they announced they sold 134,000 Pope cards.
It's more than like any other card they've ever sold.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
When John Cena turned heel, 55,000. Okay, and that's a big moment in sport.
I think we're ready to take a break.
134,000 Pope cards were sold. I only got one.
Why'd you do that?
I fucked up, Troy.
You only need one.
No,
because I'm trying to get the white smoke variant. I don't even need the superfractor. I'm trying to get the white smoke variant out of 267. But with 134,000 in pop?
You're an influencer. You'll probably get one.
No.
They don't do that.
Snowball chance in hell.
They don't do it. They don't feed influencers like that. I fucked up on that one.
You did. Big time. Let this be a lesson to you.
And you know what they probably do?
When the Menendez ones come out.
No. I'll be getting several of those. And because they'll probably do a jail cell refractor.
Oh. And they'll probably sign some.
They will definitely
They'll get an exclusive deal with Fanatics.
Well, they'll sign one. Usually the autographs are one of one in those Tops Now things.
Not for baseball players. They sign multiples.
And even if you get a what's it called? A redemption. You might get a redemption.
Yeah.
Sometimes you open up the pack, it's a redemption. It says, send in this card, we'll send you the autograph back. Because we don't have the autographs done right now. Which is fine, because they can't do the autographs right now. They're still in jail.
Yeah, they don't even know if they're getting out.
I'd be so bummed to like have a parole hearing. I mean, everything seems good. I'd be so excited for them to be like, "Nah, we're not going to do it this time."
Yeah, tease. We're going to tease you here.
I'd be so dejected. We'll see, but I really hope there's a Tops Now card. I'll get it.
There will be.
I'm 100%. That's mine. That is I'm multiple. I'll get you one too, Troy.
Thanks, bud.
Unless it's a.
You buying for everybody?
Why? If I get multiple base cards, I'll hook you guys up.
Okay.
Thank you.
If I get refractors, you can't have those.
No, I understand.
And you understand that.
Of course.
But if I get multiple bases, which I probably will get a few base cards, I'll hook you guys up.
Thanks,
I'm good like that.
You're a good dude.
Thank you, man. We're going to take a break. We got a lot to discuss. We'll be right back. Stay there.
We will be right back with Sam Roberts Show.
The MLB have changed to, they've been rephrased to lifelong bans are now only for your life, not the life of MLB. It was always understood that a lifelong ban meant for the life of the league you are banned.
Well, they were called permanently ineligible.
Sure. And then Robbie Manfred comes out, MLB commissioner, and he goes, no. Life of you. So once you're dead, you can go in the Hall of Fame, which is probably like really reassuring for a lot of people. Well, don't worry. I'll get my flowers once I can't smell them anymore. That's what they say now. But yeah, still big news because mainly Shoeless Joe Jackson can finally get into the Hall of Fame. Everybody can stop complaining. Yeah, I think so. Shoeless Joe Jackson from 8 Men Out. Shoeless Joe Jackson, who was part of the 1919 Black Sox scandal. They made it into a book, made it into a movie. John Cusack. I mean, it was a hell of a scandal, too. They tried to fix the World Series. And they said, all of you, out because they accepted money, you know.
Ray Liotta played him in Field of Dreams.
That's right, Ray Liotta. They said good enough for Field of Dreams, not good enough for the Hall of Fame. What's this horse shit? Is what they said. But and finally, old Robs the Manfred said, well, it's nicknames we throw around for each other. Said, okay, you're right. Shoeless Joe can get in. So he was banned in 1921.
Who? Pete Rose?
Oh, is Pete Rose part of this too?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear about that. I was mainly focused on the Shoeless Joe Jackson stuff.
Oh, no.
No, I thought, because that way, you know, I was just thinking it only took, well, you know, because he's not, when is the Hall of Fame, have we done the 2025 Hall of Fame? Yeah. Is the next one 2026?
Yeah, but that doesn't even matter in this case, but yes.
So, because they're not eligible in what, 2028?
They're not eligible, I mean, if you want to get into the weeds, they're not eligible until the next time the Classic Era Committee votes, which is in December of 2027.
Okay, so they will be eligible for the class of 2028.
They would be eligible for 2028, yes.
Which means
if they get on the ballot and then if they get approved.
So that means Shoeless Joe was only banned for 107 years.
That doesn't sound like permanent to me.
No. 107 years from the time he was banned.
And much less for Pete Rose.
Are you sure Pete Rose? I was mainly just
he's
reading,
a part of this.
I was reading headlines about Shoeless Joe mainly.
No, I heard. I
think 8 Men Out is the. I love Shoeless Joe Jackson. I think 8 Men Out is the only summer reading book that I actually read the whole book. It might be. Now that I think about it, I don't know if I got cover to cover with Catcher in the Rye.
What's to read about?
Right, I got it. Holden, you know, he's a cool dude.
Holden Caulfield. Okay.
Holden was cool.
Got it.
But, you know, I'd rather, you know, I was too busy holding these nuts. You know what I mean?
What?
You like that, right?
Yeah, I love that one.
Wouldn't that be great?
You love him holding his nuts?
No, just the line, the joke.
Yeah, there's a fire line.
Because you also think about that, like J.D. Salinger is sitting there going, like, I really have an instant classic on my hands, and I went from Holden Caulfield to holding these nuts. You know, I probably didn't see that one coming, old J.D. Sorry, bud. Nice classic, dick. That was good too, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I made it to the back cover of that one. I got a good chunk in though. It's a good book. I get it. I get why everybody likes it so much. It's a coming of age tale. It's a good book. I didn't finish it. I think 8 Men Out might be the only book that I read cover to cover in my entire academic career. Really? Like entire academic career, I think 8 Men Out is the only one I got all the way through. Not just summer. It was a summer reading book for me. Not only the only book I read in summer, but the only book I read
cover to cover.
Yeah, because I
for school
because I
read. You read Mankind's autobiography.
That was 100% where I was going. Literally 100% where I was going. Mankind's autobiography came out when I was in high school, and I read that cover to cover, but it was not an assignment.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And I did not get school credit for it. And I tried, man. I tried to squeeze anywhere I can get a Mankind autobiography book report in.
It's a real story.
It's one of the best books I ever read. And I've read over 5. But yeah. And then later in life, I read Bret Hart's book cover to cover.
Oh, yeah.
Bret Hart's book is incredible.
Yeah.
But as you know, as an academic, in my academic career, I think 8 Men Out might be the only book that I ever read cover to cover. I don't think any book that I was ever assigned for a class, and I mean 1st grade through 12th grade, going into college, I don't think I ever read the whole book, ever. I couldn't bring myself to do it.
Just a book?
No, like I told you, I can read Mankind's book. I can read a book.
And Bret Hart's.
But there was just something about a teacher going like, you have to read this book now. And I'm like, I don't have to. Okay? Like, I can tell me why I have to. Oh, because you have to answer these questions. I can answer the questions. Don't
Especially
worry.
now. Just plug it into ChatGPT.
That's right.
It'll tell you everything.
That's right. I
was
was going
need Cliff Notes anymore.
I was going crazy looking for Cliff Notes on some of these books because I had to get the Cliff Notes without my parents knowing I was getting the Cliff Notes.
What was the other company?
Like the way some people would sneak, like, you know, drugs and alcohol. I was sneaking Cliff Notes. Spark Notes was the other company.
Spark Notes, thank you.
Except it was all twitchy. Okay. That was just for me and you.
Yep.
And maybe some of the really old school people. But yeah. So I got very excited when I heard about Shoeless Joe because that's the only book I ever read in school.
All right, I mean,
you read books in school?
Honestly, I know I did. I can't think of a single one.
Right? Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Like,
and I can't tell you for a fact that I ever finished a book.
Right.
I'm sure I did. But I can't remember.
Are you sure?
No.
Because I felt like once I got the gist, I was like, I got it.
Like, I know I've read books before.
Brett and Mix.
I read Mankind's book.
I read Steve Jobs' book.
I didn't finish that.
It was sick.
I read the Jenna Jameson autobiography.
I read Jenna's book.
That was a great book.
It was great because what's his name did it? Who wrote The Game? Not the Triple H book.
Oh, yeah.
Neil Strauss. Neil Strauss wrote that book. The same author who wrote Motley Crue's book and Marilyn Manson's book.
I read the Aerosmith book.
Oh, I'm not reading Aerosmith's book.
They had their story's crazy, just like Motley Crue's. Like,
what is it mainly billed to the writing of the song Pink?
That is actually what it's called. It's called The Road to Pink.
The Road to Pink.
The Aerosmith story. Yeah. I read a couple Guns N' Roses
books. I heard about that. In chapter 2, they go like, when I was growing up, my favorite color crayon was pink and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I know that's foreshadowing.
Yeah, you know where the story's going.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But you still want to read it because it's like, okay, well, how did they get there?
Yeah. Like, I feel like once I got the gist of books that I was assigned to read for school, I got it. Like, when it was like, it's called The Scarlet Letter. And I was like, what's that all about? And it was like, well, they put a Scarlet A, that was the letter, for adultery. And they'd shame her for it. I go, okay, got it. You know what I mean? And that was it. Like, I was like, I got it. You know, I could get where people would sympathize with her. I could get where people would be mad at her for it. What angle do you want me to take on this? I got the book. I understand it totally. I still don't know what The Crucible was about. They made a whole play about it. Movie, whatever. I can't bring myself to it. One time I was in Syracuse, because this went through my college career as well. And I was in I really thought I was going to be able to outsmart all of them, get through without ever reading a book.
I mean, technically you did.
I did. Except RoboCop. I was in Syracuse, and RoboCop, Peter Weller was my teacher for a class called The History of the Roman Empire Through Film.
Starring Peter Weber?
Weller, yes. And it was a 3-hour lecture that met once a week. But the reason it was a 3-hour lecture was because the idea of the class was that you have reading material about a certain topic, and it was a different reading material packet every single week. And then also that same week you would watch a film that showcases that point in history and what the packet was about.
Okay.
And so, and I mean, they were good movies. It was like, I think Jesus Christ Superstar was one of them. Not Jesus Christ. No. The Last Temptation of Christ. Last Temptation of Christ was one of them. There were a ton of them. But the idea was that it's a 3-hour lecture, and you can spend 2 hours and change watching the movie in the lecture hall, and then RoboCop will come out and give you his take at the end of it. I was like, this is like director's commentary for movies he didn't direct. This is fantastic.
It's a great elective.
Right. If it was like, and it was a history class and a film class, and I was in film school at the time.
I took something similar to that, where it was like the history of film and The Simpsons.
Right. But for this one, for me, I remember.
I didn't have Peter Weller though.
That's what it was. I remember literally being in my whatever guidance counselors are called in college, in his office, and the guy I was
Advisor.
Yeah. I was waiting for my advisor right outside his office. And the kid that was out there waiting as well said something like, are you going to do Roman Empire through film? I was like, no, I don't care about the Roman Empire. And he was like, oh, that's RoboCop's class. I go, what?
Oh, you didn't even know.
And he goes, RoboCop teaches that class.
And he said RoboCop.
He said RoboCop teaches that class. And I went right into my advisor's office, sight unseen. I said, I need to get into RoboCop class.
I want the RoboCop class.
No, I was a sophomore in college. I was probably 20 years old or 19 years old or something like that.
Also, I am circumcised.
By then, yes. And
that's not on the college application, man.
All right, but you're my advisor. I want you to know me. And so I took the class and everything. Everything's great. Except Peter Weller, a.k.a. RoboCop, is a verbose guy. He likes to chat. And so he would spend the whole 3 hours talking. And I would think we're getting to the movie. And he would say we're getting to the movie, but we'd never have time for the movie. He'd spend the whole 3 hours chatting. It was and he'd talk about all kinds of stuff. He'd talk about his jazz band that he was in with Jeff Goldblum. He loved talking about that. He when Last Temptation of Christ came out, he said, I put a call into Mel to see if he'd come and, talk for the class.
How'd that work?
I don't know. We didn't hear follow up.
Listen, if you told me that it was Hollywood Stories with.
It's not really Hollywood, but because he loves the he's literally got a doctorate in it. He loves the Roman Empire. He loves this. Like, he is an expert at this history stuff. And so, so you'd have to go after class, and there was like film hours, and they go, you have to go to these film hours and watch the movie. And so I wasn't going. You know, I'm not going to the film hours. I'm not, because they don't take it.
Microfiche.
Yeah, that's what it was. And they don't take attendance at the film hours.
No.
They take attendance in the lecture hall. I'll go to the lecture hall where they take attendance. I'm not going if they're not taking attendance. And so, as I said before, I wasn't reading either. So then every single class, we'd have a test that would ask questions that compared the reading to the film. Mm-hmm. And very often I had not done the reading or watched the film. And so I'd make it up. And most of the time I would do okay. But there was one time where RoboCop himself, and I mean, it's like 100 people. He would pass the tests out, like the graded test. He would pass them out one by one. It's 100 of us. And he'd go, "Where's Sam?" And I was like, "Right here." And he threw the test down on my desk that he had graded. And you know what he said? No. "You got to crack a book, man."
RoboCop told you to crack a book.
And I had this amazing smile on my face. He couldn't have felt good about it because I was like, this is so fucking cool. RoboCop just told me to crack a book. And he was right. I failed the test miserably. But yeah, so I did not read. So that's why Shoeless Joe Jackson finally being eligible for the Hall of Fame is such a big deal.
Okay, wow.
And I guess...
It's a while to get there.
Well, sometimes you can take the long way.
I think I read The Outsiders.
With Rob Lowe?
No, that's not a movie.
Oh. I didn't even know there was... Oh, was that the story of when Kevin Nash and Scott Hall showed up on Nitro?
I'm going to turn my mic off.
All right. You think I'm not being helpful?
No.
So, yes. So Pete Rose, the ban has been lifted. Pete Rose is eligible for the Hall of Fame. But as Travis said, it's a little bit more complicated than that because they can only get in through, like, the Classics Committee, which means they have to be voted by, like... legends and former executives of Major League Baseball and all these people who take baseball very, very seriously. So it's not to say that Shoeless Joe and Pete Rose are getting in. I got so excited when I said Shoeless Joe.
I get it.
It's not to say that they're actually going to get in.
He's a great story.
And he might, because it's been 100 years. Like, people aren't still salty about it.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he did, while he did accept the money, I'm talking Shoeless Joe, while he did accept the money,
for throwing
the money to throw the 1919 World Series, which everybody's talking about these days, he actually played an excellent game. Or he played, an excellent series.
Yeah.
A series of games. He was really, really great at it. So he might be okay.
Maybe. His numbers are low-end Hall of Fame numbers.
Even compared to the time?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I only read the book. I don't know anything about his career.
That's fair.
So,
I do think he'll get in, though.
But Pete Rose, his numbers are incredible.
He's got good numbers.
Except there are a lot of historians that don't like him. And also...
Well, there's a lot of players that don't like him, too.
Yeah, a lot of people that are close to the game that don't like what he did to the game. And then also, a lot of people think he's a creep for outside activities to the game.
And also for the way that he treated the game for ever since he was banned.
Yeah, but come on.
I mean, part of being in the Hall, there's an ethical code in being in the Hall of Fame.
But you said I'm not getting into the Hall of Fame, so fuck you, right? Like
People didn't like that he used to roll up every Hall of Fame weekend, sign a bunch of autographs.
Okay, and I'm sure that you don't like that, but he didn't like being banned from baseball. You know what I mean? He would roll up. It's Hall of Fame weekend. He would roll up into Cooperstown and sign balls just to prove, number one, to make a little scratch. He loved selling autographs.
Well, he had to make money.
Don't
forget, these are also players that did not make money.
That's right. Even Charlie Hustle?
Even Charlie Hustle.
Oh.
So I can't besmirch any of these, legends. And Pete Rose is a legend.
And I don't care if people spend all their time. Like, the idea that, you shouldn't sign that many autographs so that way other people can make money off your autograph. Horseshit. Like, you're the one who should be making money off your autograph.
I completely agree.
Right. I have no problem with it at all.
And I personally think it's funny to go to Cooperstown every year. You know you're the guy. Everybody's talking about why isn't Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame.
The fans are all excited.
He's right over there in that baseball card store signing autographs.
And it proves to the world everybody still loves me.
Yeah.
And It is a bit of a screw you. And I get that, like, you know, well, you're not supposed to say screw you to Major League Baseball if you want to be in the Hall of Fame. You told me I couldn't get in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I'm just
so you can't sit there and go, well, he behaved badly when he thought he couldn't get in, so now he can't get in. That's not fair. You said I couldn't get in before.
But there are also very few cases that I can think of people being more of their worst enemy than Pete Rose.
Sure.
Just lying from the jump.
I mean,
admitting it in a book to get money.
He's a degenerate.
Yeah. Like he's not a good person.
No, but it's not the good person Hall of Fame.
But that's part of the Hall of Fame. There is.
Yeah, I was just sitting there going through all those plaques in Cooperstown and going, look at all the good people here.
I'm just telling you how people vote.
I get it.
I'm not saying that I agree with it.
Is Ty Cobb in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Cool. Good for him.
What did he do?
In the game or out of the game?
Out of the game. Seems like a normal, regular guy.
He's a horrible racist.
Okay. It was the
And by the way, also used to stab people with his cleats in the game.
He played hard.
Yeah. Yeah. And people got stabbed with cleats.
Pete Rose ran over the catcher in an All-Star game.
Oh, catcher was in the way. It's in an All-Star game of all games. Is that necessary, Pete? It's the All-Star game.
Charlie Hustle.
Pete Rose earned $7 million during his Major League Baseball career, which is nuts. Because, I mean, to say, like, anybody on Pete Rose's level, making $7 million in a single year.
That's what a bench player makes now.
That's right.
In 2 years.
As both a player and a manager.
Yeah.
Even in his career as a manager, $7 million. His highest earning year was 1986, when he was paid $1 million by the Cincinnati Reds as a manager. Jeez. His biggest contract as a player was a 4-year, $3.225 million deal. That's over 4 years, though. With the Reds in 1979, he also earned $800,000 a season as a player with the Phillies. But that was making him baseball's highest paid player at the time.
These mega contracts, they didn't start until like the mid-90s.
Right.
Early mid-90s. Like, even guys that you watched growing up didn't make a shitload of money.
Don Mattingly didn't make $100 million?
No, that's why he's still got to manage teams. He needs the money now.
It's his money, and he wants it now.
Yeah. Plus, he would get fired for those sideburns.
Well, he wouldn't shave them. That's on him. And they told him. I thought they told him.
They did.
Okay.
I've seen it on video. But yeah, this is surprising.
That they made the change? Yeah.
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 Very surprising.
It was.
Like this is one of those times where nobody saw this coming.
No.
To just all of a sudden be like, hey, you remember when I said permanent? I meant lifetime.
Well, there are conspiracy theorists.
I don't think it's a conspiracy.
Well, if it were true, it would be a conspiracy, and this is a theory.
Okay, I think that this is just theories.
All right, some think, I don't know enough. Okay, I only read 8 Men Out. I don't know all the details. I don't know enough to say it's true. Some think that because Rob Manfred met with Trump a month ago, and that the administration could help the process in transitioning Major League Baseball from linear television to digital streamers, that maybe that has to, and that Trump is a major Pete Rose advocate and also one of the great Shoeless Joe Jackson fans, I think.
I've only seen him truth about Pete Rose. I've never seen him truth about Shoeless Joe.
I think he saves his Shoeless Joe stuff for Twitter, which is, you're sticking to Truth.
I'm only
Truth
on
Social.
Twitter. Yeah.
But yeah, because Trump, some people are making those connections as well, which is possible.
I believe that 100%.
It's possible.
At no point, Rob Manfred has been so steadfast in permanent means permanent. They're not allowed back in. The rules are the rules. And then a month after meeting with Trump, and you need something, and you don't want to be on his bad side, and Trump has been publicly for a very long time supporting Pete Rose.
Right.
This doesn't surprise me at all.
Everybody's got to be friends, you know what I mean? It's a lot of that going on right now.
Kiss that ring.
A lot of like, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Hey, Eric Adams, we can make things go away for you.
Yeah.
What do you think about those immigrants? Oh, yeah, we need to get all of them out. Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of that stuff is happening. He was banned, Pete Rose, in 1989 by the then commissioner, who was Paul Giamatti's dad.
Yeah.
That's wild.
You didn't know that?
Well, I guess I knew that.
Yeah.
But like, it doesn't come up that often, so you forget sometimes that like Paul Giamatti's dad was the commissioner of baseball, which is a wild upbringing because, like, on one end you go, that's why Paul Giamatti has such this interesting life, but also, like, being a great actor and being the commissioner of baseball couldn't be more separate. Yeah. So it's just an interesting thing.
And this was before anybody knew who Paul Giamatti
Of course it was. Yeah, it's 1989.
Yeah. Sideways wasn't out yet.
He had not even been pig vomit.
No.
Has Paul commented on Pete Rose? I would like to know where he stands on the matter.
You know what?
Is his dad still with us?
No, he passed away shortly after, not shortly after, but after this happened. And there are a lot of people who think that he would have reinstated
Interesting.
Pete Rose. Yeah.
Is Paul one of them?
I don't know what Paul thinks.
I would love to know what Paul
I would love to talk to Paul about his dad. I mean, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Paul apparently isn't that interested in baseball.
No?
Yeah, he has another brother. This guy, Marcus Giamatti.
Is he the MAGA one? There's always a MAGA one.
Of course, yeah. Ask the Pope.
All right.
Bart Giamatti's son.
Marcus.
But I love that they go, Bart Giamatti's son rips Rob Manfred. Manfred. For controversial Pete Rose decision. Really? Paul Giamatti did what? No. Mark Giamatti.
If it was Paul, we'd put him in the headline.
Right. Mark Giamatti.
Oh, Mark.
Well, his name is Marcus, but I'm going to call him Mark. There's no way he's walking around calling himself Marcus.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not taking anybody serious.
There's two Marcuses, no. Marcus Aurelius and Marcus Bagwell. Now, some people called him Buff, and he had the stuff.
I didn't know his name was Marcus.
Oh, yeah, that was yeah. He went by Marcus in the beginning. Now, without integrity, I believe this is coming from Mark Giamatti. Now, without integrity, I believe the game of baseball as we know it will cease to exist. Okay, good. How, without integrity, will the fans ever entrust the purity of the game? The basic principle that the game is built on fair play and integrity will be compromised. What about the basic principle of shut up?
Let's have some fun.
Oh yeah, we're trying to let's just see some dingers. The integrity of the game is now in question because the guy who was really good at hitting can't go in the Hall of Fame. I mean, what? There were a lot of people that would say, based on the integrity of the game, Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
because he's very good at that game.
Best hitter of all time. I mean, subjectively.
Right. The Rizzler's better. I saw a video.
Who hits more home runs, Aaron Judge or the Rizzler?
Based on evidence that I've seen?
Yes.
Rizzler.
Okay.
My son showed me a video. It was a short. Luke in Iowa.
Hey, how's it going, boy?
What's up, dude?
So I got to just jump in on this Pete Rose thing. First off, Pete was kind of a deeply flawed character from the get-go.
Right.
From like the jump, man. I mean, he was always obsessed with winning baseball. But I read his autobiography, Rose or whatever it was, and he claims he never bet on baseball, like except for his own. He never bet on his own team or anything like that. But later on, it came out that when in 1973, he was like dating some chick from Ohio who was like 14 or 15 years old.
Well, I saw that, and he insisted. And this really makes me think, oh, good, Pete. I'm glad you really saved your character on that one. So there were, there were all these charges, that he was like, sleeping with this 14, 15-year-old girl. And when he was 30 years old and married, by the way. He was in his 30s and married while this was happening. And he said this to defend his character. I want you to know something. She was 16, and that's the age of consent, and I never took her over state lines.
That's the letter of the law.
And that's the letter of the law, and they wouldn't do that if it wasn't okay. Which, I mean,
that's what I'm talking about. It's like
there's always something. There's something very creepy about like letter of the law people.
Oh, good.
You know what I mean? Letter of the law people. Like no. Like the
we
line.
were just talking about it with Diddy.
Right.
Letter. It's the
letter of the law. The line is there because you don't just go up to the line. You can actually walk on the line itself. The line is still fair. You can't go over it. And it's like if you're walking on the line.
That's why they say don't cross the line.
Right.
The line is fine. Step on the line.
Step on the line all you want.
Yeah.
Nobody believes it, though. Nobody believes that she was only 16. I mean, but even just the math unto itself, the optics of the whole situation is just terrible.
Horrible.
I mean, so he's going to Ohio. Anytime he's in Ohio, he's banging a 15 or 16-year-old.
It's disgusting.
I mean, benefit of the doubt, let's just say she was 16. It's still gross.
It's so gross, dude. It's so gross.
You know, of course, if social media had existed back then, it'd be different.
Well, social media exists now, and they were talking about it. That's one thing. Thank you, Luke. Might have been better for the memory of Pete Rose if he was just remained banned, and that way we wouldn't have to talk about the stuff that nobody's talked about in a while. Because
did you watch the 4-part docuseries on Max about Pete Rose that he did?
No, I think I was watching the OJ show that day.
Okay, I mean, this was like last year. The OJ
then definitely last year. Yeah, I was watching the OJ show.
You should watch it.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know if I'll have time.
He once again does not help himself.
Pete doesn't? Oh, he's interviewed on it. And he's a big part of it.
He's a big part of it. Right. Yeah, because it's a 4-part series about his life.
Right.
Yeah, he doesn't. He never helped himself.
Well, no, and I don't think that there was ever a misinterpretation. Like, I don't think anybody ever said, and you know what the other thing about Pete Rose is? He's a good person.
Nobody's ever been like, he's really misunderstood.
No, nobody ever said that. Nobody was ever like, you know what he should do? He should mentor people like the Menendez brothers do. No. I think it all boils down to, can he hit baseballs good? And if so, should he be in the Hall of Fame? And if you can leave the conversation there, you can have it, because the minute you go off-road, and you don't even have to go off-road, you can just go on a side street, it gets ugly.
Yeah. And there are a lot of people, and sometimes I agree, that say, you know, you're judging him on what he did on the field.
What about when Cal Ripken made them turn the lights off so that he could...
happened.
Oh.
I mean, you can't prove that happened.
My dad says that Cal Ripken's record is the greatest accomplishment in the history of sport.
It is. Your dad is such a smart guy.
Well, apparently he didn't see the Jim Abbott game.
No, he had to deal with a whiny son.
That's true.
That day.
That's true.
He was preoccupied.
No, that's true. Well, I didn't get the graffiti hat.
His daughter wanted a hat.
That's his son. You got the people wrong.
Okay.
What the hell? I mean, Bart Giamatti was also the president of Yale.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I mean, this guy. Imagine being Paul Giamatti and being like, look how accomplished I am. Look at all that I've done. It's like, yeah, but look what your dad did.
Imagine being Bart Giamatti and being like, look what I've done. My son's excited because he's pig vomit.
Right, exactly. Dad! You are the Antichrist!
You motherfucker!
Howard, I think you and I are going to work well together.
God, what a great movie.
It's the best movie.
That's a book I read.
Oh,
Private Parts?
Yeah.
I read cover to cover?
Parts. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you got to.
Miss America, too.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
Miss America was for the real fans, I feel like. Yeah. It was still huge, but Private Parts was a generational book and a generational movie.
Yep.
For sure. But that was not a school assignment?
No.
How many books did you end up reading for school? Other than 8 Men Out.
They didn't read many books in Votech.
I guess that's true. It was more
manuals.
Yeah, I was about to say manuals.
Yeah, I can't think of one.
I get it. But at least you got Private Parts in.
That was a good book.
I mean, you got it, yeah. And I'll tell you, if you hadn't read Private Parts in that era, culturally, your education was lacking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a foundational piece.
And I got my Miss America signed. I camped out on South Street to get Miss America signed. I caught pneumonia.
Was it worth it?
Absolutely.
Do you still have it?
Miss America? Absolutely. Yeah.
You have the sign. You have your signed copy still?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Florida.
Where all the important things are.
That's right.
You know what? You keep your Beatles record, your Howard book, and your heart in Florida.
That's right.
Was that Tower Records?
Yeah, on South Street. Yeah, I think it was Tower Records. Yeah. I remember he was talking about it on the air. And he's like, I'll be in Philly. And then me and my friend that put his penis in the menu.
Sure.
We went down there and we didn't dress warm. We just showed up and we were hanging out in people's tents.
You know why? Because there are no consequences to actions.
Exactly.
That's right. The great thing about actions is that they don't have consequences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so we camped out. And then I was so sick. Like, we got the book signed, and my friend, Matt, the guy with the penis in the menu.
Oh, I was confused.
He hawked a loogie in his hand. He goes, Howard, watch this. Spits in his hand and snorts it back up. And then on Monday, Howard went on the air and was like, yeah, and people are trying to get me to sign their hands, and this guy hawks a loogie and snorts it back up. My friend Matt was so stoked that Howard mentioned it.
I mean, I would be too. It's honestly, I mean, it's no wonder that Howard, like, changed his whole style. Like, when you tell stories, like, people forget, like, people give him such a hard time because he's so different now. But, like, wouldn't you want to just chill out after all this? Can you imagine? Because Howard wasn't, I don't think he was ever as wild as his audience was. He was always kind of a normal guy that just like created this world. And the world that he created attracted all these maniacs.
Yeah, he wasn't the one hawking loogies.
No, and at a time, honestly, he was always very open about how grossed out he was by all that stuff. He was a germaphobe. He always was a germaphobe. But like, I could see where he would get to a point and be like, I can't, with all these guys are showing up and snorting loogies thinking it will impress me. Like, what is this empire that I've built? At a point, it's like,
what am I doing?
Can I just be known as the guy who does good interviews with famous people?
I get it.
You know what I mean? Like, what do I want to do? Do I want to sit there and have guys snort loogies to impress me? Or do I just want to go hang out with Jimmy Kimmel and Bruce Springsteen?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
At a point. I understand, especially when you're younger and but like at a point you get older and you're like, I got this hot wife.
Yeah.
Celebrities have finally embraced me. Like, can I stop with the loogie snorting?
Yeah, these lunatics.
Yeah. And they're not stopping. And by the way, it's the same people. Now they're older and still snorting loogies to impress me.
Yeah.
This 40-year-old guy snorting a loogie. I can't do it anymore. Nobody ever thinks about that perspective.
Right.
I can't do this anymore.
So when you're like, oh, Howard's changed, he's not the same Howard, it's like, you get it.
Yeah, he put his time in, dude.
Look what he had to put up with.
He put his time in.
He did it.
These idiots from Pennsylvania are getting pneumonia.
And it was Philly. I mean, Philly's like, it's the real deal.
I mean, I was specifically talking about you and your friend.
Oh, okay.
But still, but your point remains.
And I've totally forgot about this. There was a girl that was always on the show, this girl, Uzo.
Shout out to Uzo.
Do you ever remember her back?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, she was there, and I made out with her. I think she's the one that gave me pneumonia.
Probably. And he goes, and these are my people. They think these are the good ideas to do. Like, these are good ideas to do. I should do this, is what they think. And he goes, I got to deal with this all the time. I got to have security around me all the time because these people are maniacs.
Lunatics.
At a point, you want to just be like, it's enough.
It's enough. You did it.
I did it.
Yeah.
And by the way, I got a whole radio channel playing old tapes all the time.
Yeah.
Switch to the other channel. It plays all the old tapes.
You like my old shit? Listen to my old shit.
Listen to the old shit. It's all out there.
Oh, there you go. Good job.
Is that Uzo?
Yeah, it is.
Shout out to Uzo.
I met Melrose Larry Green.
Shout out to Melrose Larry Green. I remember Melrose, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Foundational.
I mean, it was a party. It was a party on South Street all night.
But at a point, and maybe this is just me, at a point, like, I would be like, this isn't my scene at all.
If you were Howard.
If I'm Howard.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I appreciate the support, and I appreciate the empire, and I appreciate how much these people love me. I appreciate all of it, and I understand the funniness and the fun of all of it. But it's enough.
It's like if you created like a wrestling empire and everybody's showing up in their bikinis and everybody's like oiled and like trying to impress you and be like, hey, look, here's a tic-tac, like a bat. I'm going to hit myself with barbed wire.
Right. At a point, you get to a certain age where you're like,
enough. I don't want to deal with this.
And I'm just going to start talking about soccer until you all leave. Like, until everybody, I'm going to just talk about soccer and you're all going to be pissed at me, but hopefully you guys just go home.
Yeah, enough.
I love you guys. Peace and love. But go home. It's enough.
Yeah, I get it.
And it's disappointing if you're a fan, but if you could take yourself out of it.
And just look at the humanity part of it.
It's a person going
it's a
like.
guy, yeah. I've had enough.
And maybe I'm sympathetic to it because you know what? All he wants to do is he just wants to go home.
Yeah.
Just let me go home. That's all I mean, haven't I given you enough?
Yeah.
It's been decades.
Guys just want more and more and more.
I know. You want him to sit on the masturbation machine again. I know.
For the masturbation
machine.
We
did it.
There's the tapes. You like them? Go listen to the tapes.
I'm horrified at the things that I did. I wake up in the cold sweats over the things that I did. I mean, how much do I have to give, is what he's saying.
I've given you my blood, sweat, and tears. What else do you
gave it all. You got all of it. You got it all. Don't think about the fact that you got it all. I've got nothing left. Okay? Can I just interview Bruce Springsteen and Billy Joel? Please.
Yeah.
Please.
He's earned it.
He has. Mm-hmm. You know? Let's go to Dan. And nobody ever thinks about it from that perspective.
No, and I'm glad you broke it down because there's probably some Howard fans who are like, "Oh, he's different now." It's like after listening.
And I'm sure there are people who used to listen to Howard that now listen to this, and I get it. Yeah. And it's not your cup of tea anymore, and that's fine. That's not to say you need to like it now, but it is to say from a human point of view.
Yeah. He gave it to us.
He gave it to us.
And now he wants great years.
Yeah, now he wants to talk to Billy Joel. Let him talk to Billy Joel. It's got,
hang out with Jimmy Kimmel.
Great.
Sure, they have fun on vacation.
Yes. And that's all he wants to do. He's made all this money. He just wants to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And he should. He's earned it.
Absolutely.
Dan in Arizona. What's up, Dan?
Hey, good morning, Sam.
Morning, buddy.
Hey, just a real quick story on Pete Rose. I ran into him in the airport in my military uniform when I was in the military. And funny thing is, I read a book about him, or about Mickey Mantle, his biography. And there's just a little story about Pete Rose and why they gave him the nickname Charlie Hustle. Mm-hmm. Anyways, real quick, in that book, they laughed at him because they thought he was a jerk. But I ran into him in the airport in my military uniform, and I just went up to him and asked him real nicely, "Hey, can I get your autograph?" And he looks up at me because he's really kind of a short guy. Mm-hmm. No offense, Sam.
I'm not short. I was short. I took human growth. No, I took human growth hormone. And don't say yeah, Travis, because I'm taller than you.
I know. I'm not saying I'm tall.
Thanks to the growth hormone.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'10".
You're a short king.
Bullshit.
I'm 5'10".
I don't believe that for that.
Okay, great. That's going to really keep me up at night that you guys don't believe it.
We're bringing in a tape measure.
Bring in a tape measure then. Yeah. I took human growth hormone. Okay?
Let's go.
Quit bragging about that. We get it.
Yeah.
You're not 5'10".
You're not 5'10".
Okay, good. You're going to be looking up to me when you tell me that, so. Anyway, go on, Dan.
Anyways, so he looks up at me and he goes, "Well, how much should I charge you for that?" And I just kind of looked at him. I said, have a good day.
You were in your military uniform. I love that he still wanted to charge you. He earned it. Yeah. I mean, at that point, the fact that he's so shameless, hit him with a 20. You know what I mean? Why not? Thank you, Dan.
I just thought he was a jerk.
Yeah. And everybody, thank you, Dan. Everybody's got a story about Pete Rose being kind of a jerk. But he's good at hitting balls. That's all that matters. Speaking of people, we were talking about, legacies and all that stuff. Bill Belichick is in a rough spot right now. Of course, the CBS interview that his girlfriend cut off, and CBS so graciously included that footage in the interview, became such a big story that now Belichick is trying to get back to football, and coaching UNC, that it is now fair, because it's a news story, to ask him about this. So he went and did SportsCenter, and I'm sure he was thinking,
all right, so
that I'm going to tell that lady not to interrupt me again. that he wants to, he's on SportsCenter to do what? Talk about sports. But the lady interviewing him did address the CBS and the girlfriend controversy. I mean, look, I'm sure it's fun at his age honestly, it doesn't sound fun at all. But I'm sure there are benefits to dating a 20, how old is she, 26?
How old is she?
Yeah, 26, right?
I don't know.
Something like that.
Head, yeah. I mean, she's still competing in pageants.
Right. Well, competing, not well.
Yeah. Not winning.
That's what they said. And now they're following everything. She competed in Miss Maine, I suppose.
You wanted the spotlight.
I know. She's competing in Miss Maine, and poor Bill Belichick had to go and support her.
That's the last thing he wants.
So, I mean, are you kidding me? Bill Belichick having to sit in the audience of a beauty pageant, and he has to go and support her, and she loses. Bill doesn't like losing as a coach, let alone as a spectator of somebody in his house.
24.
She's only 24. And I there's no way, whatever benefit she brings to his life, there's no way that it's worth this hassle.
I mean, we were just talking about the moral line with Pete Rose and that.
Yeah, but what's funny about this relationship is the moral line, you can have a conversation on either end.
Yeah.
Who's taking advantage of who is completely up for debate.
Yeah.
And also, I do think not enough people just say, sometimes these old men want to hang out with pretty young girls and are willing to just go like, you know what, fuck it, you can take control of my whole life, I don't care.
I guess because they have nothing in common.
How do you know? Maybe they have
because I know what Bill Belichick wants to talk about.
What is it?
Football.
Oh. You don't think he wants to talk about our philosophy textbook that he signed?
No.
This is whenever How I Met My Girlfriend story starts, where you're an adult and the word textbook is involved, get the hell out of there. It's a bad situation. So he was on, and now, look, I don't think ultimately, when Bill Belichick goes off into the sunset finally, I don't think that this is going to affect his legacy whatsoever. No. I think people who think that some legacies are bigger than news stories of the day. This would be one of those anecdotes that people kind of tell. But what he did with the Patriots is just simply never going to be top. Like there are some things that you do for your legacy. Like Michael Jordan, there are a ton of stories about Michael outside of basketball. But what he did in basketball is so massive that nothing will ever top his basketball legacy. It's an impossible thing to do. Bill Belichick, this is a rough period of time for him in the current, but ultimately nothing is going to affect that guy's legacy as a coach of the Patriots, as the dynasty Patriots. It's just not going to happen. But right now, that's not what we're talking about. Right now, what we're talking about is his lady friend, and they brought it up on SportsCenter when it was back to what we were talking about when we watched the CBS interview. All he wants to do is talk about football.
So I know that you're aware that your relationship with Jordan Hudson has been a headline over the last few months. And all of the specifics aside, because a lot has come out in the last couple of days, how do you think that impacts your ability to coach this football team, if at all?
Yeah, I mean, that's, really off to the side. It's a personal relationship, and she doesn't have anything to do with UNC football. I'm excited to be back in
Did you pause for a moment?
Coaches' meetings.
Who's that they said was on all the emails for UNC football?
I think it was Jordan Hudson.
Okay, all right. So maybe a little something to do. Maybe it's a tiny bit to do.
Could be a different Jordan Hudson. Could be a man.
Named Jordan.
Yeah.
Right.
We had a boy named Jordan that interned.
I mean, even that's a stretch. But you're right. No, you're right.
It's just a female name then.
Yeah, generally. It could be a different Jordan Hudson. Probably not. I don't know if there's anybody who works specifically with Bill Belichick named that, but I guess so. All right, go on.
And getting ready for June, and then August when we get to training camp. So June will be a big recruiting month for us, and then August we'll start getting ready for the season.
And I know that you're not on social media and you don't read as much as everybody else has seen, but when it comes to having conversations with the players, have you been able to talk about any of those things and the specifics of what's going on off the field?
Yeah, no, I talk to the players, and when we meet with them when they come in to visit and so forth. Sure.
And how those
Bill,
conversations
have you pause for a second? Yeah. You can rewind a little bit. Bill, she didn't ask, have you spoken to the players in general? She asked, have you spoken to the players about this? And by the way, these are crummy questions, I will say. Like, if you're going to bring up the girlfriend, bring up the girlfriend. Don't, ask questions that, these are non-answer type of questions. I can get out of these questions. They're not good questions. Especially, if you're not going to bring it up, don't bring it up. That's fine. And you're just going to do an interview with him about UNC football. That's fine if that's what you're going to do. But if you're going to, go so far as to bring up the girlfriend at a time where it's an uncomfortable time to bring it up, bring it up. Do it. Do it. No half measures. Like Walter White said.
No, what's going on off the field?
That's right. Mike said that.
Yeah, no, I talk to the players, and when we meet with them when they come in to visit and so forth. Sure.
And how are those?
That's a Joe Mazzulla answer.
Yeah, it is. Great. Well, again, we want to make the players the best that they can be, provide them the best opportunity on and off the field, and that's what we're about at UNC, and that's what we're going to do the best for every single player we have.
So that's it. I mean, especially because, he has a reputation, Bill Belichick, and has for a long time, of wiggling out of answering questions. He has never been a guy who enjoys the back and forth with the media. He likes to coach a football team. So when that's who you're dealing with, you kind of have to ask, if you're going to go there, you kind of have to ask the direct questions. But it is just interesting to see what a pain in the ass this is for him, who doesn't want to address it at all, that now it has become the story. As much as I don't think long-term this is going to be a big thing over his legacy as a coach of the Patriots. I think way more people care about this than whatever the hell he's doing at UNC.
No, and this will go away once he fulfills whatever his book promotion deal is.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. When he stops doing interviews.
Well, yeah, and I'm sure that he's contractually obligated to do X amount of interviews.
That's right.
I know how these book, tours work.
100%.
And once he's done with those, and we're just doing press conferences at UNC to talk about the games, nobody's gonna ask him about.
No, and even if they did, once he's in a press conference, a post-game press conference, he could say, well, I'm just kind of here to talk about the game. That's kind of a non-issue.
And he would be 100% right.
100%. That's literally what the press conference is about. It's not just a general...
Like, what'd you have for dinner last night?
Right, exactly. It's not a get-to-know-you session with Coach Belichick. So, yeah. But it is...
So this will go away.
I think it'll go away, too. I mean, and it's just always going to be a thing. Like, it was a thing before the CBS interview. Everybody kind of knew it was like, that's what Bill's doing, huh?
Okay.
Yoga feet with a 24-year-old on Instagram. Okay.
Huh.
Okay. That's a choice. But whatever. All right, let's take a break. Still got a lot to talk about. Maybe give our takes on that Office spinoff that we saw a poster for. It's a choice. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back with Sam Roberts Show. We're back. The Sam Roberts Show.
All right. Sam Roberts Show on a Wednesday. Welcome back. We were just talking about, I guess Peacock is the one that put out the teaser poster for their new show. It's set in the world, the universe, not the universe of The Office. For those of you that wondered, what did the documentary crew, which is, I'm one of them, why we used to have this conversation with Travis, and he'd go, what are you talking about? This isn't a conversation. I go, all right, well, I'll try it again later then. I would say, what do you think the documentary crew that was filming Dunder Mifflin did after the doc came out? And he go, I wasn't even paying attention.
Probably got jobs somewhere else?
Yeah, like I blanked out halfway through that sentence. What are you talking about? Sounds boring.
What did the sound guy who got fired for interfering with Pam?
Well, I think he's fired. He's just not doing anything. I hope he's not back. He shouldn't be back. He's unprofessional. He's trying to have sex with Pam.
For sure.
Which I hated that.
Yeah.
Because she's with Jim. And even though they're a toxic couple, who are just dragging each other down.
I think they're fine.
That's exactly what they are. They're fine. Because that's exactly how they established their life. You know what we could do? We could both be people with goals, but we could marry each other because we excuse each other's middling. You know, the fact that we're just right there, we're just okay with nothing. What we'll do is we'll set up a scenario where Jim will make me give up on my dreams, but it's okay because I love him. And then I will make Jim give up on his dreams, but it's okay because he loves me. And then we just love each other, living a life where we never accomplish what we actually wanted to, and we just stay in Scranton forever.
Yeah, you got it.
And we are the heroes of the show.
And they do pranks.
And we'll continue to do pranks because we won't emotionally mature from being in our late 20s at a job that we thought we would just have temporarily. And we'll just be that forever because it's more comfortable for a sitcom audience to just understand that some characters will never change.
Exactly. See, you got it.
Okay, good.
But then you were like, what about the crew?
What about the doc crew is what I said. What about the doc crew? Also Oscar is what I said. And so, set in the universe of Dunder Mifflin, there's a new show called The Paper that's coming out, and the poster came out for it. The Paper is it's a fledgling local newspaper, not to be confused with a fledgling local paper company. Fledgling local newspaper that I guess I'm assuming the doc crew was like, well, that first doc was gangbusters. So let's spend the next 9 years following this local newspaper. And so all we've got is this picture, and I believe that that's the guy who played the dead AI robot in Black Mirror. Ron Weasley.
Yeah. No, that's not Ron Weasley.
Oh, there was another Black Mirror with Ron Weasley.
Domhnall Gleeson.
Right.
He was in.
His hair's the same color as Ron Weasley. He was in Black Mirror.
Was he in Ex Machina?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So I'm assuming there's some kind of tech gone wrong in the paper. Well, if he's in Black Mirror and Ex Machina, I'm gonna assume there's tech that's gone wrong.
It's in the universe of The Office, not.
But he's from Ex Machina and Black Mirror. I'm assuming the tech has run amok. I'm assuming. Well, all we have is the teaser poster, so you can't say that that's not happening.
Okay.
But he's in it, which I've already seen. There are already people that are like not thrilled with it because they liked that The Office was kind of unknown people.
Yes.
Well,
but I mean, Steve Carell was known.
Steve Carell was known.
Yeah.
And maybe this is the Steve Carell.
And I haven't seen any other names outside of him and Oscar.
To me, that's exciting because you look at the poster, and I looked at it with my jeweler's loot. I took out my jeweler's loot and looked at it. Right, because I wanted to see all the Easter eggs. I love Easter eggs, you know. That's why April's my favorite month. And so I was looking through, trying to find all the Easter eggs, and there I saw it. The one thing everybody missed.
Everybody.
Because I was looking at it, you know, through the magnification, and I noticed, and this is going to shock you, but if you look, and we'll tweet it out, and you won't see it. You won't see it in the poster that we tweet out, but if you look, he's there. At the computer, if we're facing the guy from Black Mirror directly to our left, that's Oscar from Dunder Mifflin Accounting.
Oh.
Yes, Oscar. Technically, I guess it's the actor who played Oscar, but we have to assume if you're telling us it's taking place in the same world, that is Oscar, which means, and I put this together, I wrote it all down.
Go ahead.
This is a bit fanficky, but I'm going to assume Oscar left the paper company
in Scranton
and got a job at the newspaper
in Toledo.
Ohio. Yes.
As an accountant?
That I don't know. Not enough information. I haven't been able to get that deep in my fanfic. But yeah, so Oscar is on the show, and you know, I saw Ricky Gervais tweeted out something funny about asking if he gets a check for this one. Which he should. He should, right? He does, right? Yeah. Good, and he should. But look, I still watch The Office all the time. Like,
I have it on almost every day.
Yeah, there's 2 things I watch every single day.
Wrestling and The Office?
3 things I watch every single day.
Wrestling, The Office.
You're gonna hit your
Shark Tank?
Boom, nailed it.
Sorry, Troy.
Hit it again.
Shark Tank.
Boom, nailed it. Nailed it twice. Yeah, those are my programs. Yeah, I put it on. And also it's helpful that like
it's comfort food.
And I'll put them on. Like, I don't have to wait till the kids go to bed to put them on. Every program, I got to wait till the kids go to bed. This one, well, maybe it's because I watch serial killer shows. But this one, and OJ. He was not a serial killer. He killed just 2. But
he didn't even kill them.
No, he's financially responsible for the crimes. But The Office I put on, you know, while the kids are there, and it's great. But yeah, so I don't know. Look, yeah, a spin-off of The Office is going to be met with much speculation, to be polite.
God, yes.
You know what I mean? And to be fair, the first season of The Office was not great.
No, it wasn't.
So, you know, I'm willing to give it a shot because The Office has earned it, but, you know.
And honestly, it was not even that popular.
No.
Until, like, season 3.
Right. Season 2, it started to create a buzz. Season 3, it became the show. So we'll see. I'll watch it. I love The Office, so I'll watch it.
But I feel like there's some solid episodes in season 1.
Well, there are some solid. They're like the index card where they're putting the index cards on each other's head. That's a season 1 episode.
A Diversity Day.
Diversity Day is
an incredible episode.
It's an incredible episode, but it is also so far removed from who those characters actually are.
Yeah, they hadn't found the characters yet.
Right.
The Hot Girl episode was pretty good.
What happened?
Oh, is that the one with Amy Adams?
Yeah, that's when her and Jim meet. She comes in to sell handbags.
Right.
Ryan and Michael cleaning out the car with all those blue Powerades.
Right. Right. Yeah. No, it's good.
Filet of fishes.
And I will.
How many filet of fishes do you eat?
I will rewatch season 1. It's not like a bad season, but it's just not the show.
No. So
Now,
yeah, I guess we'll see.
I thought this was going to be the streaming news of the day.
It's not?
No. Because I have a big announcement. This dropped this morning.
New show?
Nope.
For you?
No.
Oh.
Wait till you hear this.
Okay.
Max?
Love Max. I was watching Max last night.
What were you watching?
Last of Us.
I was watching Max last night, too.
What were you watching?
Rehearsal.
Hell yeah.
Love it. Love. But.
Let the games begin.
Yeah, it's such a good show. But season 2 better than season 1. But. Big announcement. Max is rebranding.
What?
Wait.
Yes, again. Max is rebranding. Yes.
Are you joking?
No. No. Yes, Max. I don't want anybody looking anything up.
Didn't they just rebrand last year?
Literally a year ago.
They were like, not HBO anymore.
Well, here's
Max.
I don't want you to get confused.
Okay.
It started as HBO, the channel.
Yes. Which still exists.
I guess. Then, that's what you watch your program on. That's what you watch.
Bill Maher.
HBO, the linear channel.
10 o'clock on Fridays.
He's not kidding.
No, he's not.
He does watch linearly, which is great.
Yeah.
But I want to say the HBO streaming journey started with HBO Now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or Go.
I believe HBO Now was the streaming service for people who had HBO. If you had HBO, then you could log into HBO Now.
I think you're right.
HBO Now was a on-demand streaming service for HBO.
Right. So, and then this is the journey. And then they go like this. They go, okay, but if you don't have HBO and you'd still like to stream only, then we will make HBO Go. And people said, well, if I have HBO, should I get HBO Go? And they said, no, you can get HBO Now for free. Now, this was already confusing to people. I know multiple people who were paying for HBO and for HBO Go because they didn't understand HBO Now. But HBO Now and HBO Go acted as two separate services for a period of time.
But they were the same thing.
Right, but one you logged in with your cable and one you paid for separately. Then they merged HBO Now and HBO Go. You see. Then it just became HBO Go.
Okay.
Then they merged again, and I believe it became HBO Max. Because that was when everything was together and they were getting like the Discovery shows and everything, and it was like, this is HBO to the max. Yeah. And some people said it was because they had Cinemax shows on, but it wasn't HBO and Cinemax, it was just HBO to the max.
Right.
Now, I do believe they do own Cinemax.
I think you're right.
But
Skinemax.
That's right.
And that's where you get Skinemax. I watched a lot of Skinemax growing up.
Same.
It's the 90s.
Love that.
Me too.
But I do not believe HBO Max was a play on HBO and Cinemax. I believe HBO Max was the max of HBO.
Yeah,
because it was so many programs. You could get like all this stuff. Then they said this is getting too confusing. They said, what's more valuable as a brand? HBO or Max?
I remember this.
And then we all came to the agreement. It was Max. And so they just started calling it Max, right?
Yeah.
And on Max, they were like, here's everything on Max. One of the categories is HBO.
It's like, isn't that the category?
And I thought this was HBO. And they said, no, this is Max. I said, HBO Max. They said, just Max. I said, okay. Today, Max is no longer called Max.
Okay.
Troy, would you like the first guess? Do you have any idea?
I don't have any idea.
Okay, Troy. What's your guess? What has it been rebranded to? Based on the history we just laid out, which I think is correct, but it's very complicated.
Well, it can't be HBO.
Okay.
You're saying it's not Max.
Okay.
So they have to just be pulling some other name out of somewhere.
Okay.
All?
All. Okay, you think it's just a service called All. I'm not saying that's stupid. I'm just asking. That's final guess.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, you're going with All.
Which honestly, like.
So should I go with Descendants?
That'd be a good one.
but honestly, if to go from Max to All, it's not that crazy. No. So you're saying All. Okay. Mike, have you looked it up? Do you have any idea what it is?
Is it Max BO?
You think it's Max BO? I like that. I like that. Okay, it's a little play on that. Max BO. That's fun.
Yeah.
Travis? Do you have a guess? And if you know, please do not guess.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, I like MaxBO.
My guess, knowing how these streaming services work, is that it's going to be just HBO.
Okay. So you think it's all. You think it's MaxBO.
I think it's HBO.
And you think it's straight HBO.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you will update your apps and you will find that they have rebranded to HBO Max.
That's what it was last year.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
What?
Yes, it's
What
HBO.
are they doing?
It is HBO Max. Yes. HBO Max is what the service is now called. HBO Max lives. Max changes its name back to HBO Max after 2 years, is what they're saying. It was 2 years ago that it went to Max, and now it's back to HBO.
Yeah, that's what the brand always was.
Max.
They're rebranding back to HBO.
Back to HBO Max so that we may all celebrate. I don't know.
What's the reasoning? Do they say?
Okay, turns out Warner Bros. Discovery thinks HBO has some pretty good brand equity after all, which everybody said that.
Everybody said that.
You don't exactly have to.
HBO's been around forever.
Did you go to college for branding?
No.
But you knew that.
Yeah, of course, HBO. Everybody knows what that is.
Right. Oh, okay. What about Max?
I mean,
you know a guy named Max.
You go like, okay, this is more simple.
Max is more simple than HBO?
I know Max Powers.
Max Powers.
Saying Max is more simple than saying HBO Max.
Yeah, but
That's
HBO.
true. That's true.
Everybody
So when you
knows.
say like,
But if I said to you, Troy, we're either going to be HBO or Max.
I'd probably say HBO.
Yeah.
They went.
What's Max?
It's a guy. It's the Max, which is why you were like all.
Yeah.
Because it's the same logic. HBO has some pretty good brand equity after all this summer. Okay, so we can get excited for it. The same way we get excited for the team schedules that are going to drop. We're going to get excited. This summer, it's on its way. Max will bend the knee and rebrand back to its original name, HBO Max. Which isn't actually its original name.
No.
The change comes after just 2 years.
Scroll down.
Discovery decided to drop HBO from the streamer's name and become just Max. Let's scroll down. Does it have the statement? Because I want to know the statements from the company. In a press release, Warner Brothers Discovery, and people go like, "What does Warner Brothers Discovery have to do with this?" You might not know this. Warner Brothers Discovery owns HBO Max.
Okay.
So returning the HBO brand into HBO Max will further drive the service forward and amplify the uniqueness that subscribers can expect from the offering. Those are words, a lot of words. Those are all words. It is also a testament to WBD's willingness to keep boldly it says iterating, but I'm pretty sure it's irritating its audience. It's iterating its strategy and approach, leaning heavily on consumer data and insights to best position itself for success. Like, dude.
You know what the consumer data and insights said?
What?
Why the fuck isn't this called HBO?
This was the easiest layup. Like, every staple has this shocking story about how could it not survive? How could Blockbuster not survive? If they had just bought Netflix and named it Blockbuster, they would have evolved and been okay. If whatever, like every brand that you think is going to last forever that ends up not evolving, HBO is the one service that had built enough equity that if you just said HBO is a streaming service called HBO, we happen to have a channel, but we are a streaming service called HBO, and you can find all the stuff that you would find on HBO, all the great shows, because like, what channel was more viewed than HBO associated with great shows, associated with commercial movies, and was on top of the DVD thing, because that's how much people love those shows. If they just go, yeah, HBO is a streaming service, and now the HBO streaming service is acquiring X, Y, and Z. That's all you have to do. But there's somebody at Warner Brothers that did not come up with HBO that is hell-bent on making sure that they are right, that HBO is not that valuable, when HBO is by far.
Actually, I have an idea.
I mean, there aren't that many cable channels that are more valuable than HBO as a brand. I would say there's ESPN.
I was just going to bring that up.
ESPN, HBO, as far as a content brand, like ESPN.
And that's why it's fun to like make fun of like, oh, ESPN is calling their streaming package ESPN, but
that's exactly what they should be doing.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to charge, and they're going to charge $30 a month for it. If you're going to charge $30 a month for it, which is a lot, just call it ESPN because that's what people like. And that's still like when you say this person came over from ESPN. Oh, that's a big deal. They're a big deal person. Like, but ESPN, HBO. I mean,
you can stop there.
Yeah. Like, CNN is still a brand?
That's fake news.
But yeah, it's taken a licking, and they try
Who's at CNN?
And they tried a streaming service.
Can you tell me one I mean, aside from Anderson Cooper, can you tell me one person that's at CNN?
I can picture his face.
Jeffrey Toobin.
Jeffrey Toobin is still a correspondent, but we know him from his work outside of CNN, mainly from Zoom calls and OJ stuff. I can picture.
And I forgot about Wolf Blitzer and his television.
That's right. My dad doesn't like.
Who?
Scott Jennings.
I don't know who that is.
You mean Peter Jennings?
Peter Jennings
from
ABC News. I know him.
Scott
I know him.
Jennings.
I don't know who Scott Jennings is.
Okay, he's great.
You like him?
Well, he roasts all the libs
on CNN.
Oh yeah, he's on the Abby show, the 10 o'clock hour.
Troy's the wrong guy to ask because he watches linear television all the time.
He's like, no, he's on the 10 o'clock CNN.
And he roasts the libs.
Troy's pretty sure that most cable channels are still Equitable brands.
There you go. There he is.
I guess I've seen that guy's face.
I mean,
you're shocked. Troy's looking at us shocked, like, don't you know who this is?
He just cooks them.
Is that Christian Bale doing a role?
It looks like it. It looks like he's got a little bit of, not a fat suit, but a slightly chubby suit on. He roast libs on Abby's show.
On Abby Phillip?
Abby Phillip. There you go. Yeah.
You like Abby Phillip's show because she has him on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I watched the clip. I watched the clips.
Okay.
10 o'clock, I'm asleep, bro.
So when we're going like
Unless
Equitable.
It's Friday.
Right.
Well, then I'll.
He'll at least make it to the new rules. You got to know what they are. Is it at the end? I have no idea.
I'm a monologue guy.
Right. You don't even.
If I'm like, you know what? I'm fading. I'll watch it tomorrow.
Right. I'll pass out. I pass out by panel. That's what you say. Pass out by panel on a Friday night. But yeah, Troy, it's like Equitable Brains, like News Nation. We're like, fine, no.
Okay, whatever, dude.
But yeah, I mean, to your point, they tried the CNN streaming service, and everybody was like, I don't want that.
It failed right out of the gate.
Why? Because it is a brand that is simply news right now, and we can also dunk on it.
They signed Charlie Rose for like 3 years, and then after a week, they're like, nah. Sorry, buddy.
That's right. We forgot what you did with the interns in the toilets.
No. That's not why.
Oh.
It just failed.
Oh, that's my bad. Well, yeah, so I think...
Oh, my God.
I mean,
again.
Even MTV, like...
MTV,
it's nothing anymore. They've destroyed their brand.
It's Jersey Shore and Teen Moms.
Yeah, MTV destroyed the brand, Comedy Central destroyed the brand, VH1 destroyed the brand. Like, these were all super strong brands at a point, but they're all toast.
I think you can go to Urban Outfitter and still get an MTV shirt.
So right, because it's kitschy.
Right.
It's ironic. Like that's the equity in the brand. You could post it. You could put it on a commercially distressed shirt. But like, yeah. Aside from ESPN and HBO, those are the two television brands that still have equity, and they just refuse to name the service HBO.
It's ridiculous.
So shout out, HBO Max is on its way back. We will be back here tomorrow with a brand that has a lot of equity, Sam Roberts Show. We'll see you then. Have a good one, everybody.
This has been Sam Roberts Show. If you missed anything or want to hear it all over again, check out Sam Roberts Show on the SXM app.
Greetings and citations, fine shits.
In this one, I think there are 0 Canadians that are like, fingers crossed, will all be in one state and just be Americans. We'll just get gobbled up by that behemoth that lives beneath us. Yeah, don't think so. I'm pretty sure not. But, you know, I feel like America lives and dies by its court system. You know, that's what makes us America to an extent. The fact that we have free trials and things are fair and juries and whatnot. And it just seems more and more like the judicial branch of government is kind of crumbling a little bit.
How so?
Hang on. Let's say I think the Brad in New Jersey, I think, wants to speak for Canadians. Oh, he's a Canadian living in New Jersey. Okay, I thought he was just a guy from Jersey that wanted to be like, here's my take on it. But, okay, Brad, as a Canadian who lives in New Jersey, Troy's statement was, I'm sure there are some Canadians, there must be some Canadians that are looking forward to being American. Brad, what say you?
Fuck that, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you why. No, I don't mind. Listen, hear me out. I got a couple things, really. But as a Canadian living in the States, I've lived in the States since fucking 92, 93.
Okay.
Tried to become an American citizen. That's a whole other fucking debacle. I'm out all this money.
Okay, well, Brad, hang on. Pause right there, because what if I told you I could make it much easier for you to become an American citizen?
Look, I'm here, man. I'm living the dream. I'm making the money. I got kids here. I don't hate that idea.
Okay.
What I hate is every time somebody's like, oh, you're Canadian. It used to be, oh, how's it going, eh? I get it. Bob and Doug McKenzie. That's great. It's not 1985 anymore.
Right.
But now it's like, oh, what do you feel about being the 51st fucking state? Like, fuck, all right, enough. Like, fuck off.
Right.
You're just annoying.
You're just sick of it. You're sick of it.
Yeah,
I get that.
I mean, look, I'm here. I'm making the money. I'm paying my taxes. I might as well be fucking American at this point. But like, it's just fucking annoying. Oh, you're Canadian. Oh, you're going to be the 51st state. Enough. Stop.
Sure. It's like, you're right. Thank you, Brad. I get it. I think a lot of Canadians are bothered by that. That for decades, the only thing that Americans knew about Canada was the beer commercial with Rick Moranis.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and then now the only thing Americans know about Canada is that they're going to be American.
I think that's what cost the Conservatives the election up there.
What, saying like maybe we will?
No, like there was so much like Canadian pride that swelled after Trump started saying like, hey, we're going to take your country. That because the Conservatives were in the lead. This was like their race to lose because everybody hated Trudeau.
Yeah, that's right, because he was too far on the other side.
And then they're like, well, I don't know if we want somebody that's close to Trump.
Right. It's either Trudeau.
I really think that's why.
Right. It's either Trudeau or we're probably going to lose the whole country. And you're like, I thought, because I was worried Trudeau was going to destroy the country, but you're saying the other side is willing to give it up. Like, not destroy, but just give it.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. Yeah, see, this is most of because Canadian history isn't really even taught in American public school. Because I don't think there
Why would it be?
Is any. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, K through 12, all of my knowledge of Canada was based around one house in Calgary, Alberta.
I was just going to say, I know about the dungeon.
Yes.
And I know about this commercial.
When I saw Hitman Hart Wrestling with Shadows, I thought it was a documentary about Canada. Because that's all I knew about Canada. But then I saw Bob and Doug McKenzie, who love Molson. And I said, this is it, Mike, if you would. Maestro.
McKenzie Brothers, eh? How's it going? Our topic today is the beauty shot.
Yeah, look how beautiful it is. Look at that head. It's making me kind of thirsty right now.
Hey, you can't drink beer on TV, eh? It's illegal.
Okay, fine. Cut.
He drank the beer, is that a problem?
No way, it evaporated. And
it's
I'm still thirsty.
Go! We're gonna get sued, eh? What'd you go and drink the beauty shot for?
To me, there's nothing more beautiful than an empty glass, eh?
Yeah, and I get to be the designated driver. Cut!
Good thing we have nowhere to go, eh?
They couldn't do that in commercials anymore. The designated driver joke probably wouldn't fly. But that is, I mean, look, to be fair, we're simple people. There are a lot of people inside the United States that, like, you go, what do you know about Chicago? And the first thing they say is, the Bears.
The Bears.
Like, if you could just make it simple and give us some stereotypes on a sketch that will define the whole region, we'll accept it. Let's go to Steve in Calgary. What's up, Steve?
Hey guys, what's going on?
How are you doing, man?
I'm good, thanks. I totally want to be part of the States, man. It'd be awesome. There'd be so many opportunities for us.
Okay.
That we don't have right now.
What if I told you that there are high-ranking people in the United States that have good jobs that think Calgary is spelled Calgory?
Who cares? Spell it however you want. As long as I'm American, it's now Calgary.
Okay. Troy, maybe you are in favor of the Canadians coming over here because they're not making such a big deal out of this bullshit, right? They're right.
Everybody here wants to be the 51st state, man.
Is that right?
Yeah. Calgary's very pro being American.
That's sick, dude. And Calgary, Alberta, Canada has a lot of great exports.
Yeah. So there's one.
Yeah.
Huh?
There's one person. Yeah.
You were right. You nailed it. And Pete in Ontario. Yep. What's up, Pete?
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Good. Yeah, I'd love to come over to the States. I love my country. I do love Canada, but I'm just taxed to death, and there's way more opportunities in the U.S. I go over to Michigan all the time, and everyone there that's got similar job is living way better than me. They're not getting taxed to death.
Okay, well, what if I told you that there are people in the States with high-ranking jobs and in positions of power that think Ontario is spelled Ontario?
I could give you shit.
Okay, all right, there it is.
Bring me over. Sign me up. I'm ready to come over.
Maybe you guys, because you guys would be less like annoying than some of us. Maybe you'd be a benefit, right? It'd be nice to have some people that.
I'm not going to live in one of your cities, though. I got to live in the rural area. I'm not living in your city.
No, that's okay. We have plenty of rural areas. That's okay. And also, we'd take all your rural areas, too. Everything rural that you have would turn into our 51st state as well. So you wouldn't even really have to relocate.